Hi! Welcome to ZOE Game Night, which is now produced in partnership with Terra Crux Games, a local game store that values gaming, getting my teleprompter to move properly, community, and inclusivity as much as we do. Tonight we are running a one-shot tabletop role-playing game using the Tri-Stat system. Man, you're right, glare on that's really on.
Right?
It's, yeah. The Tri-Stat system, which we have modified for our needs in order to keep pacing up. All right, my name is Sharon Bebop, and I'm going to be your GM today. With me on the cast, I have James. You want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about the character you'll be playing today.
My name is James Durham. I work here at Zombie Orpheus Entertainment, run a few shows for them. I'll be playing Dr. Victor Frankenstein. I'm sure you might be a little bit familiar with the character from popular fiction.
Maybe. The character is actually portrayed very differently in different iterations of the fiction. I have gone with the original book version of Victor Frankenstein, so...
Which edition? It was published twice.
The first.
Okay.
Because I didn't know there was more than one, so it said original printing, and I was like, yes, ebook, bye.
Yes, she rewrote it a second time 10 years later.
Oh man, it's probably better.
Changed a great deal of things in it, which is actually the version that most people have read is in fact the one that was written 10 years later. There are almost no copies of the first version in existence.
Wow. Well, somebody put it on ebook, and that's the one I paid for. Or somebody lied to me, equally possible.
It's mostly name changes and background changes are slightly different.
Fair enough. Christian?
What? Now it's done. It's all done. You did it for me.
This is Christian. Full stop.
I am Christian Doyle.
And you're playing?
A game at ZOE Game Night. This is fun. Ask me another.
We're here for fun.
Who are you playing?
One Sherlock Holmes.
Good.
Detective. Criminal mastermind. A very stable genius.
The most
Very
stable.
stable.
That's what it says.
Hi, Slogan.
All right.
I feel so underdressed right now.
The vest!
James
Look at the
is
vest!
bringing it to the
I like-
table.
I put on a shirt with buttons, thinking like, all right, that'll show him.
I could have done better.
I only own like 2 shirts with buttons on them, and one of them.
But that's one of them.
But you make him look good, James.
And the other one's camouflage.
Nice. How many
Okay, that one
19th
probably not
century
the
pink
best.
vests do you own? Just that one, or
Just this one.
I don't cover everything from Casanova to Dracula. Like, that's a good piece to have.
Luke.
Hi all. I'm Luke Amundsen. I will be playing John Watson this evening. Doctor, veteran, and voice of reason. So something wildly different for me.
Oh. Hi, everyone. I'm Bryce. I'll be playing Henry
Oso
Jekyll.
Grande.
Different show.
Different show. I'll be playing Henry Jekyll. That's it. That's the only one. Nobody else. Just Jekyll. Oh, and I'm the chief of sufferers.
Oh.
That's true. I took most of your guys' bylines from quotes from the book, so some of them are a little bit reachy. Except yours. That actually was not in any of the stories. I don't know if you knew that.
Funny, that sounded like Arthur.
You just hear his voice.
Yeah.
And on tech right now, we have Mark or Leo? Leo. Mark and Leo.
Thank you,
In
Leo.
cooperation.
Thanks, everyone.
Wait, so we have 3 marks in the studio?
It's
We
the
do.
weirdest.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
That's maximum marks right now. That's all the marks we have.
Are you the funky bunch?
Fairmarker can come down and visit sometime.
Okay,
We have
okay.
4 marks.
We might have Mark Prime at some date in the future.
That's right, there was once Mark Prime. I feel like that particular metaverse has shifted and Mark has become Mark Prime.
Yeah.
I think so.
Agreed.
Yeah, probably. The numbers haven't changed though, so everyone wonders who's Mark 1. He's just Mark 2.
It's a mystery.
Mystery. All right. Tonight we are going to be playing The Strange Case of the Modern Prometheus. If you've been following it on the Discord, there's lots of interesting backstory there, but for now, we will begin.
Wait, there's stuff on the Discord?
There is stuff on the Discord. We have a Discord.
Yeah, by the way.
I'm gonna need a couple minutes to read it, okay?
No, okay.
I turned off notifications on Discord like a month ago.
You got your backstory. Pex emailed it to you. Did you read it?
Yes.
Yay!
It has not been even a mildly busy day. So I'm comatose and mute, right?
Yeah.
You're playing Sherlock Holmes. That's what you need to know.
All right. Beyond that,
Got it in one.
Yep.
not Artie. Jay got it in one.
No.
And somehow fucked it up in two.
But is it like the Cumberbatch Sherlock Holmes?
No.
I hope not.
No.
I don't have enough names.
No.
No syllables. I need more syllables.
Robert Downey Jr.?
No. Also no.
I like fisticuffs, Holmes. Like,
Kung Fu Sherlock is great. Don't get me wrong.
is it really?
Absolutely.
Oh, because I believe that somebody, Sharon, has issues with that.
Somebody, Sharon, is a Sherlock Holmes elitist, and the opinions should be taken with
So
a
is
giant horse lick of salt.
So is somebody also named Doyle.
Okay, cool.
And also, I believe Mark. Prime.
So,
Well
what you guys
incorporated.
need to know, if you have not been on the Discord, is that some patched together bodies have been appearing in the countryside of England, as well as in the city of London.
I didn't do it.
And that's his issue, is that he didn't do it.
But I really didn't do it this time. I actually didn't.
Sherlock has been investigating Dr. Henry Jekyll because he was familiar with the doctor's sketchy past around the suspicious death of Sir Danvers Carew. In order to get a better look at him, he actually had himself committed to Bedlam Hospital, where Dr. Jekyll works. In order to do this, he burned down Baker Street. Don't worry, he made sure Mrs. Hudson was out for the day. Okay?
Good job, buddy.
Only curtains were injured in the making of this game. Where he met Dr. Watson and became friends. Dr. Watson never got over his PTSD after coming back from Afghanistan. He is probably the single sanest person in Bedlam, but can't convince anybody to discharge him because of the way that Bedlam works. Sherlock has become convinced that it was not the good doctor who's going around patching people back together, but he hasn't been able to get himself discharged. Because nobody will discharge him, because him and Dr. Watson have been trying to escape, and this is seen as evidence of their incredibly unstable mental state. So they can't be discharged at this point. Victor has come to London for the first time in a very long time. An old friend of his who's familiar with his history alerted him that there seems to be another murderer in England. One who not only rips, but also sews. The bodies that have turned up have been of enormous size and formed out of different parts sewn together. He's aware of the implication and is in London to solicit the help of Sherlock Holmes, because if Sherlock cannot clear his name, then no one can. Unfortunately, since the detective's apartment burned down, it seems that he's finally snapped and was admitted to Bethlehem Royal Hospital, better known as Bedlam, which is where we now find Victor, still looking for Sherlock's help. Dun dun.
This is terrible. Absolutely terrible. I suppose I will have to go in and see what can be found. If Mr. Holmes is truly insane, then all hope is lost. Perhaps there is a doctor here I can see about his state.
So at first they are reluctant to let you in. Bedlam is not known for accepting visitors, but since you're a doctor yourself, you find it pretty simple to talk your way inside. What do you do?
I am looking for any doctor that might perhaps handle the case of Mr. Holmes. I believe these patients are seen after by at least one doctor on site.
At least one. The doctors on site are pretty thin, but you do manage to find a doctor who has treated Mr. Holmes.
It's a good enough place to start as any. Excuse me, sir.
Good day.
Dr. Victor Frankenstein. At your service.
Dr. Henry Jekyll. At your service, Doctor.
That name is familiar. No matter. I am inquiring as to the mental state of one Sherlock Holmes.
Holmes. He is an interesting case.
How so?
Well, I don't believe that he needs to be here, but keeps doing things that show he should be here. He seems to be of right mind, but constantly tries to escape. Has previously set fire to his own living space.
Was anyone hurt?
No, thankfully no.
Can I see him?
Check my charts. It should be fine, yes. As long as you have an escort.
Do you have
Of
the time,
course.
Doctor?
Of course, for you, Doctor.
Excellent.
I'll go with him.
All right. Sherlock and John, best friends in Bedlam.
Besties.
What are you up to when they find you?
Trying to work out the leg, for one. Wow.
I am gloriously playing my favorite Beethoven piece on absolutely nothing.
Air violin?
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like, Christian?
It looks like a man pretending to play a violin. Ba-ba-boom. Anything else costs money. Okay. Like this?
I just wanted to know if you do.
Some of you forget, baby. Dance some of these? Okay.
Now, sir, while I appreciate a glorious air violin performance as much as the next man, do you have any further thoughts on getting out of here?
Thoughts on getting out of here. In the middle of my Strata Arius solo.
Please, do continue.
I am merely putting on airs as we are shortly to be joined by a Dr. John. Another one, not you. A new one.
What is his field? Do you know?
I've caught barely a whiff of him on the air. I would say something Austrian. There's a lot of stuffed meat.
I know
He's not
that
even in the
much.
room yet. It's pretty good.
So, you walk into the room?
Still playing, but explaining it.
As you can see.
Oh,
Clearly.
well, this I did not expect. Set down the fake violin.
It's a shame you won't get to hear him finish, but
And this one?
Dr. John Watson.
Dr. John Watson, Dr. Henry Jekyll, Dr. Victor von Frankenstein.
Doctor.
Doctor.
Doctors. Doctors.
Doctor.
Doctor.
Not me.
Everything I ever wanted.
So, Dr. Jekyll, a new specialist, I see. So,
Yes, yes.
did I die and not realize it?
I don't believe so, Mr. Holmes.
What sort of a question is that? No, we're not dead.
You don't know who Dr. Victor Frankenstein is, do you?
No, forgive me. I've been away for some time.
Well, I figured you as a medical doctor, John, would know that he has, well, he's published, we'll say that. Although not generally applauded by the medical community.
Fascinating.
I assume you have a question that you wish me to answer, Doctor.
I'll make it easier for you.
A missive. Exciting.
You seem to know enough.
You could have mentioned that before I brought you here.
And yet he did not. He must not trust you. I'd look into that at a later time.
Well, that will happen, yes.
I don't have mine. Would you?
Certainly. January 30th, 1890, London, England. Dear Sir, I hope that this letter finds you safe and in good health. Please forgive the suddenness of correspondence, but as you'll soon see, I had good cause to write you.
Wasn't Mother then?
Clearly not. I am afraid that I must break my promise to you and speak once again of that which we both agreed would be consigned only to the page evermore. A fortnight ago, my husband and I returned home to find our rooms ransacked. The police were quickly called and a full report was made. However, when it came time to account for what valuables had been stolen, we could find none. No money was taken, my jewels were all previously where they had been left, and the private safe was untouched. It was not until the constable had left, with all promises of a full and careful inquiry, that I retreated to my private study and made a terrible discovery. The manuscript, my dear Frankenstein. Manuscript. My original writings and sketches done with your ready instruction were gone. More than that, all the notes taken during our interviews and some artifacts from your time in the trenches were all missing as well. I cannot think who might have taken them. None but us two had even an idea they existed. The manuscript which I gave my publisher was a facsimile, carefully copied by my own hand to remove any hint that the story was in any way based on fact, and no member of my household was aware of the true purpose of your visits. At first, I was resolved that I had simply mislaid them and the break-in was an unhappy coincidence. But last evening my eye was caught by a story in the newspaper that caused my very heart to stop. A body, so like the ones mentioned in your story and in my retelling as to be almost identical, was found along the railroad tracks not 3 miles from here. I cannot rid myself of the feeling that they are in some way connected. I fear the worst, though I cannot say what exactly that may be. You surely see now why I wrote you. I urge you to be on your guard. Something is afoot, and I fear it is a manifestation of your greatest worry. For my part, I will remain vigilant and will of course contact you again should any more information come to light. Sincerely, your friend, Mary Shelley. The author.
Quite, sir.
So, there was more fact than fiction to the story than was originally reported, I assume.
Much more.
Well, spill it, or I have to do my little guessing game trick. It takes 10 minutes.
I never quite finished, as the story reads. I never reached such a point. I stopped myself.
Those villagers were terribly angry at the end.
I stopped myself before I succeeded. Not that success was beyond me. Simply, I realized the error of continuing.
Oh, goodness gracious, thank heavens for that at least.
And yet, someone has stolen your story as well as, I assume, your research.
As far as I know, it would seem that they have taken everything they need from Miss Shelley, though how they would discover it in the first place, I cannot possibly say. All of my materials I burned.
So, how exact were you with the notes that you gave to Mrs. Shelley?
Quite specific.
But still, a background in science would be required.
Most certainly.
Fascinating.
And no one, aside from Miss Shelley, knew of your experimentation?
Not even her husband.
No.
It fits. Absolutely fits.
Can you help me?
Of course. Can you help me?
Doctor?
Doctor. First, I believe you may need to show others, aside from myself, that you understand the violin wasn't real. You understand that there may be error and you're trying to escape multiple times.
Error in trying to escape multiple times? I shouldn't even be here.
That's true. I don't know why you took the blame. I admit it. I'm not crazy. I'm, in fact, quite lucid. It was John Watson who burned down 221 Baker Street, not myself.
Dr. John, why?
Why, John? Why?
Doctor, please. Doctor, I have only met this man since being confined here in Bedlam against my will. I have never heard of a 221B Baker.
I assure you, we are bosom companions. I won't go without him.
I was recently medically discharged from Afghanistan. I have not been in merry old for quite some time. I came seeking additional medical care to rehabilitate my leg and found myself here
with a bosom companion for life.
Bunking with a gentleman who serenades me with air violin.
Well, if they would give me a real violin, I wouldn't have to resort to such measures.
If you wouldn't use the wood to try to escape, we could give you a real violin.
It was a cheap piece of trash that you gave me, not a violin.
You see, I haven't known him long, but that scans, actually.
It looked Italian.
I'll see what I can do.
Have you been diagnosed with anything, Doctor?
Not to my knowledge. Doctor? Doctor?
This is not my field of specialty.
Yes, clearly. And you stay away from the leg.
I feel that time is of the essence here. We have a lot to accomplish in a very short amount of time to accomplish it. I can't ask you in any kind of good faith to declare me sane. But
No.
I could ask that you allow me to leave on a short sabbatical to help this man with his problem with, perhaps, physicianal supervision.
I believe that may be arranged. I do need to at least write some things down about why we are going. We'll say maybe an excursion into the air will help clear your addled brain. And so you
Perhaps,
My brain is not addled, I'll have you know.
perhaps, I could accompany you as well, so you could observe my mental state and the fact that I would not randomly set fire to a building I have never known of before.
I would
Also,
never
there's no way
separate
near
bosom
this.
buddies.
Bosom companions. sir.
My apologies. Bosom companions. I would never separate bosom companions.
Indeed, our bond is very strong.
Very kind-hearted,
I can tell.
sir.
No two better friends did ever exist.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
I'm going to write a note to the orderly that says,
Oh, that's a wonderful idea. Order the uniforms. 2 of them.
if we're just having them released.
It shouldn't be a
medical
problem.
release,
I don't like to toot my own horn, but I am a master of disguise.
I do believe you
I
love
should be
toot
able
your
to-
horn.
I should
Even
be able
if
to
it's made of air.
simulate
Air horns.
the speech patterns of one of the other doctors or orderlies. Perhaps I could even become you, Doctor.
Or we could just.
That
walk
sounds
out.
fine as well. Off we go!
I find it hard to believe you can simply have Mr. Holmes released.
Not released. Under supervision as an excursion to test his mental fortitude outside of these walls.
It's a field trip.
Why don't we save that as a backup plan and simply put them in the uniforms of orderlies and walk out the door?
Yes, you could help us escape, Doctor. Come on, you know that deep down there's a
Not
part
an escape,
of you
simply a
that wants this.
avoiding telling a lie. It is the
We should escape.
I'm afraid, Henry, the only other option would be confrontation, which I know you are deathly afraid of.
Let us get orderly outfits, uniforms.
two uniforms. We'll get them out quite easily.
Yes, yes.
Well, we can wait here. We can't very well walk around in these.
No.
We'll wait.
I'll go find some orderly uniforms.
Nobody looks twice at you. You are all over this
I
place.
do not want to arouse suspicion, so I'll remain observing the patients.
Okay.
Excellent.
I'm not known here.
All right.
But you are a doctor, which has respect. And we trust you.
Yes, Doctor.
Unfortunately, my
trust me.
reputation
Their
is-
respect,
my
their
reputation
respect
is
for
rather
doctors
clouded.
is boundless.
You claimed you could reanimate dead flesh.
Oh, I could reanimate dead flesh. I choose not to.
Hurry.
So you find some uniforms and you're like, that's about right. Sounds good. He's kind of tall. He's kind of not so tall. Sounds good.
Got him.
Yep. Boom. Orderly uniforms. I didn't do enough research to find out what those look like, but
It's
they're
fine.
genuine.
They're white.
These
But
look
they
like
are
real
authentic.
scrubs.
For realsies.
I'm super serial, guys.
Stupid cereal.
Ah, well done, Henry.
Shall we?
Well done, Victor.
Doctor?
Doctor.
Well, we're going to do this a lot, aren't we?
God, I hope so.
John, I assume you brought your revolver.
Well, much like my walking stick, that was taken from me upon my arrival. If we can retrieve that, given that we are now properly attired, I would greatly suggest we grab both.
If not, we can fashion a branch into a walking stick and 2 branches into another revolver.
That is not how revolvers work.
Ah, so I may be crazy after all. It's a good thing you're here.
Oh dear.
All right. Front door, back door, jumping out a window. What are we doing?
Well, of course, must retrieve Dr. Watson's property first.
I can do that, and I will be more circumspect than the 4 of us going to retrieve someone.
Absolutely. We will await you outside.
I will go get them. Will you be in the front or the back?
I wouldn't say no to my bag.
Would you say yes to it?
Yes.
Again, why you were crazy.
In back. Less eyes there.
Agreed. I will go get their
Okay.
their things.
You find an orderly. You know this guy. His name's Robert. He's also a super jerk face.
Yes, he works for Moriarty.
And he doesn't
Well,
like you. But he's the one with the key right now. Orderly shift lead.
Robert, I need the key for the belongings.
What this time?
Did I ask for your sass?
You didn't ask for it, but it's free. Good news for you. What do you need?
What do I need?
Well, you're not usually the type who goes through looking for loose change, so, I mean, what do you need?
I need
Staff
patient's
taxes.
belongings, Robert.
Why? Is somebody leaving? Never discharged anybody before?
Robert?
I don't ask you how to clean piss pots. Maybe don't ask me how to treat patients.
No, it's the end of a long shift, and you always come in here talking about what you need. Look at me, I'm a doctor. You know what? You go treat patients or something.
Bro, he's totally joking.
Give me the key, Robert. I will not ask again.
Oh, I can tell he's got a mean streak inside him. You can just see it.
Yes, yes.
All right. I'll give it to you. You can take it.
I say this is going to call for some
Who's in charge?
little
Robert?
outside intervention.
Who's in charge of Robert?
Yes.
Somebody hasn't come in yet.
I quickly remove my clothes and go streaking down the hallway past Robert. Grab them!
No, there's no honey that way.
I must have all of the honey for my tummy!
Give me the key, Robert. Obviously, you have other things to do.
No, he does. Like, just run after them. But he does not drop the keys. He just forgets and is running with them.
Oh, that's okay. I'm going to let him tackle me after a very short time and take the keys from him and slide them over to him.
Roll me a thing.
Yes, a thing will be rolled. We'll call that, what? Stealth?
Sure.
Or sleight of hand. I have sleight of hand.
You have sleight of hand. Roll me a thing.
I studied under the great magicians of the Orient.
Ah, yes, that wasn't horrible. to
Beat
say
it by
at the
one.
time.
Excellent. Fortunately, he doesn't have any kind of ability to stop you because his hands are occupied by trying to tackle you. So, Robert has... I'm going to cross out his name so I don't use it again.
Robert's
Robert.
touching my wiener! He's touching my wiener!
Now, calm down. Calm down.
So you're
Don't
over
you
there
tell
with
me
them?
to calm down, John.
Excellent.
You calm down.
Excellent. Robert is cursing and trying to manage you, but you're much better at this than he is. He did
Perhaps
not...
I should just go back to my room.
Keys are like slid
Put on
across
some
the floor.
pants.
Indeed. Let's go back to the room and get you taken care of.
Robert touched my wiener.
Now, that's holding your head.
No, you didn't, though. I covered it up very well. No skin on skin contact with your wiener.
So Robert comes back. Oh wait, these are your patients. These are your patients. Why don't do things for you? It's because your patients run naked down the hallway. Your patients get into places they shouldn't be.
I just ignore him and grab the things.
Hey, where? You give those back.
Grabbing things.
Try and take them from you. Do you let him have the keys?
Oh no.
No, you don't let him.
Oh
Maybe-
no.
maybe-
We already got the door
You
open.
should put one hand on his head and hold the other.
Oh,
They love when you do that.
I do not let him get the keys.
Okay. Okay.
Do not touch me, Robert.
Oh, what? What are you gonna do?
Have you fired, orderly?
Yeah.
You
Fucking
know,
I'm your
like,
boss. Get
Strength
the fuck out of
disappeared
here.
in action.
give you a stiff upper
I-
lip.
I guess
You got what you wanted. I'll look the other way. Give me my keys back.
I'm gonna grab the things first.
You're gonna end up cleaning up your own patient rooms if you don't give them back, because without them I can't get in.
I'm going to continue ignoring him to grab the things, and if he reaches for me, I'm going to slap his hand.
Do it. Because he's gonna.
All right. That's a body.
Yeah.
Something.
Do you have unarmed?
No.
Then it's just body.
Okay. No.
No?
Lots of no.
Oh, no, that's the end. No, that's quite
So, like, a bunch of no's.
That's quite no.
So much no.
All the no.
All this no in a bag.
Okay.
We need superpowers.
This is clearly.
You guys are calibrated for metaverse where you're like demigods.
Okay, I'd like to throw the car at that orderly because
I'd like to roll a knowledge on everything.
I will seduce the hospital.
What is your body score?
3.
Okay. See, you rolled the same as he did, and you have the same body score as he does. So he does manage to, he kind of reaches the keys, but he doesn't get a firm grip, and you just swat at him and miss completely, and you're just like,
Robert!
Orderly!
I said leave me alone!
Orderly, is this how you conduct yourself?
you're new.
Is this how you conduct yourself?
You're new around here, you don't know how it works.
Perhaps, but I doubt that physical altercations with the doctors are something that is considered permissible. Perhaps
Depends
your
on-
staff lead should be spoken to?
You just give
Robert's
me my
in
keys back.
trouble.
Are you quite finished getting whatever you're getting there, Doctor?
That was just spiteful.
From down the hall. Robert touched my wiener.
Do you have everything you need, Doctor?
I
keep
believe
telling
so.
you that didn't happen.
If you have everything you need, please return the keys to the orderly. He's quite distraught, obviously.
Drop them next to his hand.
Doctors are assholes.
I'll have you know you touched the wiener of the greatest detective that ever lived.
I apologize, orderly.
Yeah.
Let's begin your new treatment, Mr. Holmes.
All right.
Are we doing an electroshock again? That one tingles.
All right. You've acquired your previous belongings, which consists of a gun and a walking stick and your previous clothes. You didn't have a whole lot when you came back.
Yep.
I don't know what you had in your magic bag, but
Oh no, just
Yeah,
regular,
but no,
regular,
just a
regular,
magic
like
bag.
forensic stuff. Ah, that's what this type of ash looks like compared to this type of ash. Good thing I keep them both in a vial.
sounds good. I'm about it.
Old-timey
Holmes
forensics
stuff.
are the
Stuff.
best.
Shall we depart before Mr. Roberts decides to make a further scene?
Yes, quite.
Yes. Yes.
His name is Robert Roberts.
Yes. He
Oh,
is
the
the
poor
worst.
bastard. No wonder he's such a prick.
I actually re-rolled that exact name. So I was like, no, I can't do that to people. Even fake people.
Robert Roberts.
All right. Where to?
Out the back.
I'm gonna slip out the bag, dog.
All right.
Doctor, did you have anywhere that you wanted to check first?
There was a body that was discovered.
Oh, we must look at it.
I unfortunately have no contacts with Scotland Yard.
I do know, chap. I don't know if we're speaking right now. But if I am very persuasive and perhaps accuse him of touching my wiener, we can probably get an audience.
You need to learn a new go-to.
I'm sorry, I've been locked in a mental hospital for quite some time now.
Fair.
It's really the go-to if you want anything done.
All right, well,
He's not wrong.
reacquainting.
I want new sheets. Well, I'll tell them you touched my wiener if I don't get them.
Well,
Next day, new
reacquainting.
sheets.
Not as good of a call with Scotland Yard.
Right.
Let's pull that one back a bit because Doug does run ZOE Game Night in his store. So just a little bit.
Just saying.
It gets things done.
All right. So going to Scotland Yard, going somewhere else.
Scotland Yard.
Scotland Yard.
Scotland Yard.
Excellent.
truly hope I don't come to regret this decision.
I think deep down you already do, Doctor.
Deep, deep down.
Not that deep.
And on the surface.
I don't know.
Just right there.
We will go, I guess, pay a visit to my old friend, Inspector Lestrade.
Who is not presently there because he's with the body. But Inspector Brown does tell you where to find him because the body turned up at Whitechapel Mile End Station.
Whitechapel,
So that's where
you
he
say?
is.
Ah. And about these bodies, what should I be expecting?
I know all I know from the letter, so you've heard everything I have. It seems to be following my previous work.
Well, gross.
And you say again that the novel was a very accurate representation of, at least.
Dramaticized.
So not a bolt of lightning then, because that's preposterous?
Not entirely true.
Fair.
It's probably why they do the bolts in the neck, right?
Yes, yes.
The electrical
Does
man.
strike quite a picture.
All right. So Whitechapel Mile End Station is
If it really
still
worked,
right now.
Edison
It
would have
is.
stolen it by now. It's true.
It is a freight station, not a passenger station. So 5 or 6 rows of tracks altogether, and no passenger platform or anything. Lestrade is kneeling in the mud between 2 rows of tracks, where the body of a massive man lies prone.
Lestrade, your mother, I'm so sorry.
Well, I'm glad you're back. Been trying to get a hold of you.
I have been...
Detained.
I mean, that seemed a little on the nose, doesn't it?
Well, I take it you've cleared the Dr. Jekyll. 'Cause that was what we asked you to do, was look and see if he was the one leaving these guys around.
Oh, no.
What?
No?
No,
Not cleared, so you...
he's quite
brought him?
clear.
Okay.
Oh,
Although,
I should hope so. You don't usually bring suspects to crime scenes.
don't get me wrong, there's darkness there.
Fantastic.
Are you telling me you went to Bedlam
Mm-hmm.
for the principle of investigating one of the doctors?
Quite.
Marvelous.
As I told you before, master of disguise. I disguised myself as a madman.
It's rather
Speaking
brilliant.
of on the nose,
Well, you're just saying that because I haven't taken it off yet. I rather like it.
It's rather brilliant, quite honestly.
oh no, I'm not saying it doesn't work.
Stole the idea from Hamlet.
It's a good
Anyway,
place to steal from.
You will be delighted to know, Dr. Jekyll, you are not a murderer.
excellent.
I thought so as well.
Congratulations, Doctor.
Woo!
I don't follow. What is that?
A manner of excitement of something I already knew, but you had to find out.
Woo!
I like it.
Seems jolly
Lestrade!
fun.
What have we found?
Well, this poor fella turned up at some point last night. Doesn't have anything on him. I was trying to get a hold of you a week or so ago because one of these guys turned up outside of London.
How many have there been?
Oh, total? 9 or 10?
Which is it, Lestrade, 9 or 10?
Well, now it's 10.
Excellent. 10.
But one of them, he came out with a bunch of paperwork. He was right next to the tracks, had a bunch of paperwork sandwiched underneath him. I thought you might like to take a look at it.
I would very much like to look at it.
All right. So he hands you an old freight train schedule, a detailed anatomical drawing. It's part of an arm. It's like all the way down into the tendons and stuff, but it's clearly torn out of a larger piece. Also torn out of a larger piece is part of a letter. You don't recognize the handwriting, and it's just part of like the narrowest end of the lines, but it's medical speak. There's, diagnosis and manic.
Let me say, does
Mm-hmm.
the paper match?
Match what? Oh, do they like fit
Do
together?
they match each other?
They don't fit together, no.
I don't know. No. Are they the same kind of paper, like they were from the same type of textbook?
No.
Okay.
No, they're not.
But do they seem to be from the type of paper that would be used in a textbook or a medical journal at this time?
No.
Since the drawing is so detailed and has the tendon showing, you would think it was from some sort of...
It's actually flimsy paper that you can see through. Somebody hand drew this.
Right.
You hand drew this.
That's my handwriting, my drawing.
And the rest of it? Also yours?
Not
So they're furthering your research.
possible.
You recognize the handwriting on the letter as Dr. Jekyll's because you've seen it quite a few times. There's some scribbled notes in the back in like big fat capitals. You haven't seen that before.
Tell me about the person who wrote it.
But the big fat capitals?
Mm-hmm.
Hasty and impulsive, bore down really, really hard when he was writing it. Actually tore through part of the paper at one point. It's paper bunched up underneath it. This was written in haste. And probably some kind of strong emotion. Like the lines aren't quite straight, and like it's really poor penmanship. So possibly poorly educated as well.
Possibly poorly educated?
Either that or in a state of high emotion. Could go either way.
Or what about the way they're holding the pen? Like
Right-handed,
larger, smaller?
larger pen, or their hand.
Hands.
I would say larger. Yeah, there's a little bit of a smearing on the backside. So, yeah.
All right.
I was cleared.
Right, I'm curious about the scroll on the back. Make anything of it?
I'm not sure yet.
What part of you was lying just then? It seems unnecessary given the situation.
Indeed.
I appear to have made you uncomfortable. I'll come back. Ask again.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Could I take a look at the body?
That was what I was going to look at. No hands now.
Of course.
And we'll go pokesy-pokesy on the corpsey.
Okay. What do you want to know?
I'm looking for similarities in my work to this body.
It looks like somebody was following your instructions. Like you can see everything that they were doing. You could have done it better. This is somebody who's obviously not very good. But they definitely had access to information that you didn't tell anybody.
So the actual quality of the surgery was very poor.
Quite poor.
Okay.
Yeah. Like first year medical student.
Yeah.
Like
But not a surgeon.
No.
Not experienced.
No, experienced enough to know that those two parts connect, which a little training is required.
The leg bone connected to the hip bone.
I have heard exactly that.
Can I see the paperwork? Like what it says that has my handwriting on it in this mysterious other person's handwriting?
It was like ripped long ways along a page,
Okay.
so there's no like complete sentences, which is why there's only word fragments on it.
How old is it?
The paperwork, probably 2-3 months. And bodies have been appearing for about 6 months.
Ah,
Yes.
good. Cold cases, my favorite.
Why do I think that's true?
You know, it might actually be. I was attempting to be sardonic, but
No, I know. Huh, interesting.
you know me so well, John.
Yes,
so well
yes.
indeed.
Bosom chaps and all
Bosom
that.
companions.
Yes.
I said,
Always companions.
always companions. The
How
ink.
fresh is the anatomy?
I'm sorry, the body?
The body. How fresh is the anatomy?
It actually varies. Some parts are older than others. Nothing is older than a couple weeks.
Nothing, not all the same dude.
Yeah,
right?
No, not all the same dude. No, not all the same dude.
Can we identify how many various dudes?
At least 4.
Do I recognize the face?
You don't recognize the face, but you do recognize an old sailor's tattoo on the forearm. This is one of your patients.
There's that face again.
What? Oh, sorry. I was deep in thought.
You understand that until very recently you were a suspect in this crime, right?
But I was cleared.
Well, by a crazy person, yes.
I believe that was just an act.
Well, thank you. But I told you that also. I'm just saying.
I have the distinct feeling, Doctor, that there's something you're not sharing with us.
Oh, he out and out lied to me not 2 minutes ago.
I was being polite.
Oh, yes, of course. Politeness. Pray tell, what are you hiding? Sir?
What?
Polite. What are you hiding?
Nothing.
The inks on the two disparate handwritings.
Same ink.
It's okay.
Could have been done with the same pen. Due to the differences in pressure, it's hard to say.
But this pen might be broken now.
It might
Here
be.
among colleagues. Anything you have to contribute would be greatly appreciated to help us better
For example,
understand.
do you know who wrote that? In the scrawled...
Yes. Yes.
He used the same ink as you, pen.
The same pen, yes. It is my pen.
A fellow physician at the hospital?
I think not. He's an unsavory character, which, unfortunately, I have a close acquaintance with.
Perhaps we should speak to him.
Oh, that is not a half bad idea.
It's a fully bad idea.
I knew you were not married. I did not realize you were otherwise
Occupied?
entangled with
yes.
another, and in fact a confirmed bachelor at that.
Oh dear.
This is someone you know well.
Very well.
You see?
We are
I understand.
of two hearts.
I understand.
Yes, such matters are often that way.
Society does not look kindly upon that.
Society does not look kindly upon a lot of things, Doctor.
Oh,
I'm
like
more than
bringing
aware.
people back from the dead. Oh,
That's the one.
snap.
Also, evidently, it doesn't look well on leaving a man with an injured leg a walking stick. Sorry, enough
That's
about
also
me.
true.
Oh, John, you've been so neglected.
Sorry. I just don't like being around
You're right,
this thing.
Here, yes.
Neither do I.
We'll get
We
done
should-
here. In the meantime, you suck it up or I'll give you something to cry about. I
Yes,
joke.
of course.
I
yes.
kid, bosom companion
Bosom-
and all
Yes,
that.
yes, companions and all that.
The man whose arm,
Men. Oh, the man
the
who's
man,
on-
the one arm, the man whose arm had the anchor tattoo.
did not write that.
No, he did not.
Detective work.
You are stellar at your job.
I know.
What was the tattoo guy in for?
Oh, I didn't make him as a character, so
He was very large, and he was
bad
in.
things?
And
was-
also insane.
insane, quite insane.
He had large
He was-
insane disorder.
He was one of my patients, and he did go missing
4 weeks ago.
From the hospital.
From
that
the
I have tried
hospital.
to escape from a half dozen times.
We thought he had actually succeeded where you had not.
This was a sailor. I am the greatest detective who ever lived.
He knew how to tie knots and escape the window.
So do I! I literally tied sheets together in a knot and...
But you were there to watch me, so you didn't really want to escape.
There. I know you could have escaped, I'm sure.
Are you patronizing me, John Watson?
Why would
Dr.
I ever
John
do
Watson.
that? I just don't want you to have anything to cry about.
Touché, my friend. Touché.
So you got 2 scraps of paper and an old train schedule, and Lestrade is following this with great interest.
How old is this train schedule?
9 months, maybe?
So
It's been-
probably the most recent one.
It's been folded up, and it's clearly been in many pockets. Like somebody referenced this frequently.
This schedule has been around the block,
So rough around the edges.
but with a heart of gold.
Any particular markings on anything been circled, singled out?
The last train on the schedule that would have come in on what would be yesterday. So if we're just following days of the week, is circled. Yes. You know that the train came in because you've been using the train whistles to tell time while in Bedlam.
Right.
So, that's
course.
there.
It's one of the many ways you can tell time in London if you know what you're doing.
There have been a number of missing individuals from Bedlam as of late.
Unfortunately, many.
Oh, are you kidding me right now?
There have been at least 8 over the last 4 months.
Well, here's 4 of them.
I did like Peter. He was on the road.
Oh, we should cover
to
that up.
recovery.
Sorry.
Doctor, forgive me. I seem to recall from the novelization. Is it easier in the construction of these beings, creatures, to deal with larger subject matters?
Generally.
Is that something there's been any correlation with folks who have been missing from Bedlam?
They've all been quite large.
So someone is killing giants, crazy ones, and then cutting them up and stitching them back together in Whitechapel. Is that what I'm hearing? So we've got like a Jack the Ripper and Jill the Seamstress kind of thing going on.
It's a terrible folk band.
Something to contribute, Doctor.
What?
You seem distracted and distant again, as though trying to hide something. Again.
Almost as if.
It was thought that maybe no one would miss these gentlemen. I don't know why.
What? They're freaking huge.
Patients in Bedlam. No one cares.
Exactly.
Were they all patients in Bedlam? Is this really 4 giant patients stuck together
Yes.
with thread?
Yes.
No regular people have gone missing of a large size. This is just hospital patients from Bedlam,
That sounds like a question for Lestrade.
where I have been
You haven't
for
seen
months
giant
trying to
man.
find a killer that I thought was you.
Which was not, I was cleared.
Although now, suddenly, not so sure. Lestrade, of the other 9 of these conglomerated bodies you have found, how many of them have been identified? And of those, how many of those were patients at Bedlam?
Not very many have been identified. You don't always have a whole face to work
Right,
with.
sometimes you only have half a face to work with. I understand.
It's not common in most of the time, but
Jill the
apparently
seamstress
this
is
the
not
world
very
we live
precise,
in
as it
now.
turns out.
But we have had reports of there have been some sailors who have not returned to their ships. We have had a couple of people report missing family members, always men, always reported to be over 6 feet in height. We haven't been able to find any of them. And bodies being hard to identify, we've only had patchy identification based on things like tattoos.
I need to perform an autopsy.
But it is not just patients in Bedlam. I don't want to be here for that.
Not just patients in Bedlam.
Not just patients in Bedlam,
I was cleared.
sailors.
I need to perform
Sailors,
an autopsy.
vagrants.
People who won't be missed.
Would you like assistance, Doctor?
Yes, and quite possibly a better location than train tracks. This is precise work.
I used to have a little place, but I
Burned it down.
burned it down to the ground, yeah.
See?
Oh, he did admit.
He burned it down.
Yeah, it was not Watson. We did not know each other then.
You were not bosom companions?
Oh, we were.
Oh, okay.
We just hadn't met yet.
Oh, okay.
Yes, That actually fits.
I will assist you in the ways that I can
Lestrade,
move
perhaps
this
a wheelbarrow.
body. A large
Find something?
wheelbarrow.
They summon a wheelbarrow from the ether and
Wheelbarrow.
Do you possess a lab in your domicile, sir?
Yes, I do.
Oh, look at him. Of course he's got a lab. Look at that. It's a
Would you
mad
mind if we
scientist
made
of the
use
right
of it?
soul.
Whoa! I'm quite calm.
You seem so trustworthy.
Would you mind if we perhaps made use of it for this autopsy?
Lestrade, the wheelbarrow.
That would be fine.
Excellent.
I have the tools I believe you may need.
I have some suspicions here.
Let me
My
go in
suspicion is
first.
that someone is kidnapping and killing big blokes and then cutting them apart and sewing them together again.
There is important information to be discovered. I do believe that when we inspect this body, we will find no signs of trauma.
Interesting. And why would that be, Doctor?
Because they have not finished their experiments yet. They have not been wholly successful.
Are you suggesting
Their
that
reanimations are temporary.
You mean not like the stories then?
No. They're still working at it. This is someone in the active process of experimentation. We need to examine this body.
Well, if they kill too many more large people in London, they're going to have to move to Norway.
can't have that? They'd have a field.
Svens of the world, shaking your boots.
Oh dear.
They've already moved on to.
so you transport a
The Larses and Ulfrics of the
8.5
world.
foot corpse in a wheelbarrow to Henry's apartment, which
Nothing to
we're
see
gonna
here.
say is a ground floor apartment, just to.
Sounds good, sounds
To
good.
make Lestrade's job easier.
He wants to be super done with this, and if you manage to find an answer, he will be the happiest person alive. Or dead, for that matter.
That's okay, we can
Give
bring
me a
him back
moment
if
to
he's big
tidy
enough.
up the experiments I was working on that may be in the way.
Fascinating.
He has the most extensive collection of obscure chemicals you have ever seen.
You have the most extensive collection of chemicals I have ever seen. Sorry.
Thank you.
It's quite fascinating.
Put it away, clean. Clean like a madman.
In my younger years, I was most
Neurochemistry.
interested in your
Love it.
research. For now, let us pay attention to this body.
Yep. Still dead.
I would like to examine this dead body.
Quite
I am
dead.
specifically looking to see if there are signs of trauma. Was it killed on those tracks, or did it simply fall down and die?
It was not killed on those tracks. It doesn't have that kind of like bludgeoning injuries to it in any places. This person, obviously, they were kidnapped alive. They were killed very recently to the time when they were then dismembered. As far as you can tell, they were not killed with trauma. So they were not stabbed. They were not shot. They may have been smothered. You don't really. I guess you do.
that's
I'm gonna pull something out about the tools that you do or don't have, but no, we just established that you have all
All
of
the
them.
tools.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably smothered to the best of your ability to tell.
Oh, I'm good at telling that kind of thing.
Stomach contents.
Yes.
waffle.
Look at the
there-
size of him. Salted
Are there
fish.
stomach
was
contents?
this. There are stomach contents. Yes.
And clearly not food, as they don't consume it.
Or the food was pre-existing.
They were killed shortly before dismemberment, so they wouldn't have time to digest post.
But in the case of the corpse, if you leave items within the stomach, it unfortunately becomes fermented, distended, and the corpse will then burst.
Yes.
So in order to reanimate one must completely clear the bowels before doing so.
Which this person did not do.
So they're making them hastily then.
Once again,
They're
Which
in a
means
hurry.
there are more than one of these things running around?
Well, judging by
Quite
the body
possibly.
parts, I would assume yes.
This process is not identical to my own. There are alterations.
Any specific differences?
Those alterations seem like they are things that are just time savers. You know, we didn't take our time with the stitches. We didn't empty the contents of the stomach. We need to get this thing out by tomorrow so it can really confuse people.
Doctor, would you take a look? I'm at a loss here.
I'm going to examine what's left of the head and the neck. And
Okay.
like, you said it was suffocation?
Probably.
Is there any like bruising or anything that would have lasted? Any weird snapped bones?
Yes, snapped bones. No weird bruising. So, if it was done with something like a garrote or possibly garrote, depending on
Or care?
how French you feel like being that day,
Not
then
at
it would
all,
be something
please.
fairly broad, like a belt.
Okay. So if they were asphyxiated, as it seems to be, the tools were probably a large belt. How large?
In order to not leave like trauma on the skin, it would have to be at least 3 inches wide.
You
Examine
would
the
have
belt
to be
number.
capable of overpowering this thing.
Doctor, I would like to use my doctor ability. Once per session, John can ask for a consult from another doctor and add half of their score to a skill roll in that skill. Acknowledging that this is not exactly your process of revivification,
Yes.
roughly how long from the body being assembled to reanimated does that process take?
Yeah. If one is in a rush, perhaps 12 hours.
And
If you had a dedicated team to do your sewing for you.
They did not.
So we're assuming this is an individual making these stitches hastily.
Or just
With a crude
not
hand.
with
Or
a skilled-
crudely.
yeah, not a skilled hand.
So I would like to then try and calculate back like how recently these people would have been killed.
Okay.
Like how quickly they can pump one of these guys out.
Okay. Yeah.
And what is your medical?
Medical is 4.
Okay. So I beat it by 2.
Excellent. All right. Assuming there were no like problems or complications based on what you know, one person could make one of these in 24 hours of working time.
Okay.
Except for one problem. The lightning, right?
It's an affectation for fiction.
So
There's no light.
there is no catalyst.
Electricity is not the catalyst, no. Electricity is used in the process of the catalyst, but there's no bolt of lightning that strikes down.
So you don't need a large amount of electricity.
It requires electricity, but not a large amount.
Right, but where do you get even a small amount of electricity?
Eels.
Which makes sense why there were so many sailors.
Well, then we can find the culprit within an hour.
How so?
It has to be within the city limits of London, and a tank big enough to hold enough eels to give enough of an electrical charge to bring a body back to life.
There are other ways of providing electrical charge, perhaps water wheels. There's a variety of methods one can
So
use.
we need to be by the water or by the wire.
There's something we're missing here.
There's lots of things we're missing here.
Doctor, may I ask, if the lightning and bolts, etc., were affectation and fictional drama, if you will, why did you provide Mary Shelley such detailed notes of the rest of the process?
I have a pretty good idea of why.
Oh, well,
Pillow talk.
Should not judge a
No.
man for
Why
what he
else
says
give
with
your
a pillow.
deepest, darkest secrets somewhere?
A confession, as it were.
She's not a priest, she's a pretty lady.
A priest would not hear my confession.
Yes, he would. He would just have you condemned and burned afterwards.
Precisely.
Posterity?
And more so in hope that it would never be repeated. But perhaps one might learn before it is too late.
Well, maybe one might learn before it's too late. If they don't want something repeated, don't tell anyone about it ever.
Especially an author. Just putting that out there.
So, if electricity isn't a source of energy, because there has to be energy, right?
Electricity can be used as a source of the but it's not a bolt of lightning. There's nothing dramatic about
What
the
I'm
reanimation.
saying is that there aren't very many ways to get that much energy into a vessel of that size.
The amount of electricity coursing through the body is minute.
Oh.
What are the other critical components then?
I mean, you told Mary.
Alchemical.
What, like lead into gold and that kind of thing? I never
Chemistry.
deal with the supernatural.
Chemistry, Mr. Holmes.
Chemistry I am quite familiar with.
What kind of chemistry?
Is that not a field you have expertise in, Doctor?
No, it is. I'm just curious. What?
That's why I asked you. That's why I asked you to examine the body. There is something different here. I thought perhaps your expertise in chemistry might identify it.
I was not looking for that, but I can now. I'm going to look for different chemical components that I might recognize by smell, using different dilutions. I don't know, stuff like that.
What's your goal here? What do
I
you-
want to figure out what might be different, or what I can tell from what's in the body, and then I could list it off to him and be like, it's missing X.
Okay.
So I want to know what's in the body or going through the veins that might have reanimated it. That's not normally in a human body.
All right.
And I will do my best to make sure that the doctor understands the chemical components that I used in my initial
We can
trials.
do a rudimentary toxicology screen, no problem.
Yeah.
Success.
By how much?
1.
Cool. Enough. Yeah. So what you find is that it looks like actually the individual body parts were animated, like they were experimented on to find out what worked the best, and then they were combined into one like big thing, which was then animated. So it's hard to pinpoint exactly what is missing. It looks like they've got most of the process down, but the missing component is something that is actually hard to find out here because it only, we're gonna say, is distilled out of a flower that grows in the Swiss Alps, which is where Victor went to school.
Interesting.
Would there be any reason to experiment on making a hand move before attaching it to a body?
Quite so. All of my initial experiments began with individual animation of body parts before I tried to.
Oh.
And of course, electricity does a great job of that. Not that I have any experience with it, although I do.
But also, if
Again-
you're only one person, experimenting on individual parts is much easier to do.
Yeah. Much more so. And again, the amount of electricity is quite minute.
Yes, you're using chemicals.
Very
A
little
specific
electricity.
chemical, as it turns out.
Yes. Something only distilled from a flower in the Swiss Alps.
Ah, yes, I'm familiar with it for no good reason at all. Because I'm the greatest detective of all time.
Because that's exactly the kind of thing that Sherlock would write a paper on.
I don't happen to have any of it, do I, in my amazingly stocked chemistry cabinet?
No, but since you brought it up, you'd be really interested in getting your hands on some. For no reason.
No reason.
That's
no
an
reason.
extraordinarily bad idea.
No reason. I'm super curious, though.
So,
Hey, Victor, you
let's
got a
start
line on
at the
where I
base
can get some of
crime.
that flour?
The base crime is
No reason at
kidnapping
all,
and
no
murder.
reason. Totally clear.
Doctors,
Yes,
base crime, kidnapping and murder.
most
But
certainly.
the people being abducted and murdered by asphyxiation
Yes.
are very large.
And what can delicately described as an undesirable element.
Quite
An
undesirable.
easily forgotten or overlooked element. Not undesirable by any stretch of the imagination, yes.
Oh,
but-
I don't say so with any moral
Oh.
judgment. I'm just saying.
So if we were to find where the bodies were delivered, or left that might help us.
Well, I guess my point is, who can kill that many men of that size? If not a group.
Inspector has a valid point.
Someone with, at the very least, a heavy hand.
His hand could be delicate at times. I may know a man.
Might you?
I might, yes. He's not someone who I enjoy spending time with, but he does have his uses.
You could
Most of
very
them are
well be
bad.
describing me right now, Doctor.
It all fits, yes.
Is this your friend with the handwriting?
It is, yes.
Your very close friend.
Close friend, yes.
Now you think they may have done it?
Friend is very... not the term I would use. An acquaintance. Someone I'm intimately knowledgeable
Yes, you said
about.
incredibly close with earlier.
Yes.
And you just said acquaintance just now, so we're getting some contradictory stories.
I don't know this man at all. But that's right.
Does this have anything to do with your work in biochemistry?
A lot. Yes, a lot of it.
Out with it, Doctor.
Perhaps one of his experiments.
Yes.
Out with it.
One of my experiments has gone awry.
Quite obviously.
Is your loose experiment that has gone awry, by any chance, a dude big enough to kill another big dude by choking him or cutting off his air supply?
He's shorter, but quite strong enough to do that. Especially with a 3-inch belt, which I believe is what he has possibly used to choke these victims and strangle them.
A 3-inch belt,
Yes,
like the one you're wearing.
exactly, in fact.
I
Yes.
see.
Well, that's not ominous at all.
I would like to say
You
again,
still have that revolver.
You guys are
Oh,
in
yes.
his house.
totally clear. Just gonna put...
Are we going to be allowed to leave alive, Doctor?
Of course. And
Why
I-
did you think about that for so long?
Wonderful. Let's get some air, shall we? Anybody else need
I would
air?
love to get
Absolutely,
some
I
air.
haven't
Yes,
smoked a
yes.
pipe in months. I would very much like to do that. Victor, would you like to join us outside for a quick pipe smoke?
Oh, of course.
I would also like a pipe smoke.
That's a good idea. Perhaps you have an ashtray or something handy. A smoking jacket that you like to wear. Oh my god. Didn't mean to say that part out loud. Do you keep it in the basement? That's where, if I had a giant creature that I could just rip people apart with and kill with my very own belt.
I do keep him locked away, but if you need to speak with him, we can make that arrangement.
I believe it has become necessary, Doctor.
Yes, unfortunately, I agree.
As distasteful as you might find it.
You will find it just as distasteful.
Why do I
Once-
have no idea what's about to happen? I am so completely intrigued right now.
Once he's been freed, it will take time for him to calm him, satiate himself.
Once he's been freed, there is literally no one else here.
Very small apartment.
It's very small.
I look around for like secret doors, anything. Do you have a shed?
Either he's a slob or he has a roommate.
If you like,
That's pretty much it.
I will allow him to speak with you.
Can I roll a notice to finally put 2 and 2 together?
Please do.
Doctor, do you participate?
Same guy! Oh!
Do you participate in body modification on your side?
Chemical body modification.
Oh.
Wasn't supposed to be body modification.
It wasn't. And then he found out what happens.
Yes.
Questions?
Fascinating.
Don't think I got the answer I was looking for. Didn't even know it. Well,
So are you?
Hi, John.
Are you
I'm sorry,
killing
have we
patients
met?
and reanimating them?
I would never reanimate them, and I wouldn't say they were patients. The killing, yes, that's all me. It was great.
well, no bother. That's not what we're looking into anyway.
Good.
So,
again.
we are more interested in the research that's been stolen from Dr. Frankenstein, you see.
Oh,
Who are you giving these bodies or selling these bodies to?
Because you're giving them or selling them to someone.
yes. What would I do with the bodies?
I don't know.
What would I do with them anyway?
I'm guessing eat the meat off and grind the bones into dust and make bread of them?
How dare you?
Fascinating.
Him?
I have been putting the bodies
Boil
somewhere.
him. And where is that?
Precisely.
I can lead you there.
I'll go.
But first, a drink.
Are you
Nope.
kidding me?
No,
a
thanks.
drink.
Give me a second. I need a drink.
All right.
Yes?
Yes,
X
please.
two drinks.
Oh, excuse me.
No.
Is he physically different than he was?
He is. He is. At first you thought maybe it was just like posture change, because you do that all the time when you're in disguise.
Same shoe size and stuff though? Like, is he like wearing the same clothes, everything?
He's wearing the same clothes, but he's like, as you see him move around, he's actually physically shorter.
Mm-hmm.
He's physically shorter. There's that little fabric bunching up around the ankles, and he's straining at the shoulders of his jacket a little bit. So he's bigger as well.
Fascinating.
He's hairier than he was, so like he's got more like arm and hands.
Keep him engaged in conversation as long as you can.
So,
And once you see, like, if you get a look at his face when he's not like, then
His grill's all jacked up.
well, there's that. But also, he's just a different person. He's a completely different person.
Which is why I didn't think he was the murderer. But his shoes, and if he has more than one pair, I'm in his apartment. I will tell me everything I need to know about who's been selling those bodies to. Or at least the location where he's going on the regular to do
So
it.
there is a pair of boots by the door. At first, you were like, "This dude's a slob,"
Right.
but they've got mud on the bottom.
Probably a very particular mud.
Probably that's a
Particular
very
to only one section of
very-
London.
Sherlockian thing to know.
Luckily, I know every kind of mud.
Mudman.
Mudman! Area knowledge, London, I beat by 2.
Excellent. So it is red, it's sandy, it's got little bits of like debris in it, wood. little
debris,
Stuff,
yes.
debris.
Oh, so much.
So much debris. This is the kind of thing that you would see at a dock, train yard, any place where there's a lot of moving stuff. Because there's no bits of like plant life. There's no grass or anything. So this is ground that is well trod, currently muddy. The mud is almost dry as well. So this is fairly recent, like last night. No earlier than yesterday afternoon because it rained then.
Is there any way I can shock him with the name of a location that I just happen to know?
Roll me a thing.
We'll use my very best detective-y skill. Which I'm assuming is street sense?
Sure.
Oh,
Street sense, area
Notice.
knowledge, notice would work, police sciences would work.
I'm going to use notice because I get a +4 on all
You
notice
do.
rolls. 7. And let's see, my notice is going to be 11, 15. So I beat it by
A lot.
a lot. Yes, a lot.
This particular mud you have actually seen at, check in my notes, King's Cross Rail Yard.
All right. Sorry, Doctor, I don't need you to lead us to King's Cross Rail Yard. I know where we're going, but you're welcome to join us.
Were you going to King's Cross?
Well, yes, it's my bosom companion.
That's where you've been.
You haven't met me. I'm Mr. Hyde.
Mr. Hyde, a pleasure. Sherlock Holmes. You've been selling the bodies down at the rail yard?
Yes.
To Or are you going to show us when we get down there?
I'll show you when we get down there.
That sounds delightful.
He should be waiting.
He should be waiting. Of course.
What do you have to drink, John?
The clever bastard.
Whiskey, neat.
Seeks to commit the ultimate
No,
crimes while I'm locked up.
Physio-changing, psychoanalytic drugs. Just straight up.
I wouldn't do that to a friend. And we're friends, right, John?
Yes.
That's my friend.
Bosom companions. We're friends. We're just friends. Trust. It's fine.
Did I meet you in asylum?
It's Dr. Jekyll.
No, I don't think it is anymore.
Oh no, I got you on that, mate.
We haven't met, but I've been watching.
Oh, okay. Lovely, lovely. Well then, pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
Disassociative identity that has been brought on by the use of this drug that he has been taking.
Yes, that stands.
It seems to cut out any qualms he has about murdering people outright.
Do I do that?
Yeah, no, I'm whispering
Okay,
so
okay.
loud.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You had to have qualms at some point, but it's just what it is. Sometimes people need to go.
Right.
Sometimes they're fine.
Luckily-
You guys are fine.
Yes, because we're all
Yeah, you guys are fine.
Yes.
we're all small enough not to sell to your weird friend down at the rail yard.
He does have uses for small bodies, but you guys are fine.
Fascinating.
Okay. So
Here's your whiskey.
good talk.
This man, was he by any chance a professor?
No.
Okay, probably
No,
nothing, probably nothing. Good at maths.
No.
Okay, fine, nothing, probably nothing. Oh,
No.
he's probably behind it, though, he always is. Clever bastard. All right, to the rail yard.
Double
I'll call us
fist.
a cab.
Walk out. Wait, a cab?
What?
You don't want to walk?
Why would I want to walk?
It feels good to be out.
It's London! The ground is literally covered in shit.
If you'll indulge me on this.
Only for you, John.
Thank you. Very kind of you,
Taking
sir.
my bosom companion there, too.
I'm gonna put my boots. Let me put my boots on.
Dr. Frankenstein, are you, by chance, in need of a bosom companion? Mine seems to have been absconded by these two gentlemen over here, sharing the body.
I do not believe you would wish to be a friend of mine.
Oh, no, I wouldn't, but I want to make John jealous.
Yeah, I believe you have chosen the wrong person.
Somebody is
I
furiously
thought
writing
so
a
too.
fan fiction right now.
Everybody's doing it now. At this point in the story, we're on sex scene number 3.
Here. Cab.
Yes, we
Put
go,
my
we,
boots
go, we, go,
on.
we go catch ourselves a carriage.
Excellent. Where do you have the carriage let you out? Just at the passenger station? Because it's right next to the rail yard, but you'd have to go through it. Or do you try and find a back street so that you
Let's
can...
try and find a back street. I'm pretty well familiar with all of the streets in London.
I'm going to make you roll for it.
There's
That's
an
how
alley.
familiar you are.
I'm super good at this, I swear.
I have not been here in some time.
So at this point,
Me
between
either.
the walking and the autopsy and the conversation with
Let's
Lestrade,
do a walk and talk.
the walk-topsy.
Walk topsy.
Point is, it is evening at this point. Okay? As you approach the rail yard, that one. You first of all, you are confirmed. Obviously, this is like he's actually wearing the boots now, so you can just be like,
Oh, yeah, same guy.
Those are my footprints.
Yes, I know. I know, I've been looking at them for weeks.
Oh, weeks?
Well, you've been at this for some time.
Yes.
So next to one of the idling trains, there's actually one that is actively idling.
You get back to work! I say to the train.
Not crazy.
Idle train.
Next to the first car, there's a small hooded figure pacing. He hasn't seen you yet. What do you do?
Shoot it with your revolver. He's got me down. Stealth. We're stealthing. We're stealthing real good. All right, hide. Yes.
Missed him, if you will.
All right. Mr.
Hyde. It's one continuous thing, Mr. Hyde. I'm a gentleman, sir.
Okay, Hyde. Okay. All right, Mr. We need. Is that your guy?
That's my guy.
All right. So what I suggest we do is we put one large trench coat over John and I.
Okay.
You say you've got a big bastard for him to buy.
Okay.
Freshly dead. He comes over here. John pulls out the revolver. We do the whole thing. Under arrest, name and all that.
Give me a moment. I will move ahead on the tracks in case he tries to run. Be there, ready to cut him off.
At the pass. Yes. Like the cowboys do it. I'm in.
I feel uncomfortable about John being in danger. You're fine.
Yes, well,
That's why I will play the top of the block.
Oh, okay. We're good. We're
So
good.
unless he wants to, kick the...
Doesn't he have a bad leg?
I assure you I am quite light.
Okay.
And John Watson can bear my weight.
It's...
I'll hold the cane.
It doesn't reach it all.
he ain't heavy, man. He's my brother.
This sounds like a good plan.
Bosom companion.
Bosom companion, yes.
Roll me something.
I would like to
Disguise.
I
We
would
are
like to use the
making
train
a
to move around
disguise
and keep
check.
myself hidden.
Oh, do it.
And I will use military sciences to try to make sure that I am accurately emulating a dead thing. I've got a lot of experience with this. So.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
Nice.
I am not doing so good on that end. The leg is giving me some troubles.
I beat the disguise roll by 5, though. So
You
I'm
beat
feeling
it
pretty
so good that you're nailing it. Nailing it. You are Vincent adult man after a day at the business
I've created a whole
factory,
character for this
but
2 man
dead.
in a trench coat
It's so
bit.
good.
Yes.
You see, I've got a hunchback because I also worked on the rail yards for some time, just like me father and his father before him. Boy, I hope nobody murders me in the middle of the night.
I've read some fascinating
And
stuff coming
you
out of
convey
Russia
that
about
despite
backstory.
being already dead.
Already dead.
Already dead.
dead.
It's
This is a completely posthumous
your
performance.
finest work by far.
Yes, as a disguise, as a detective.
Oh,
it
no,
doesn't even touch.
What were you doing?
Moving around the train quietly.
You rolled a thing. What was it?
No.
Success by 1.
Okay. Did you roll a thing, or did you just
I
want to be
didn't roll a
included?
thing.
Okay. Cool.
I was just getting ready to walk forward. I just don't remember if I know his name or not.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Okay.
Dr. Jekyll never needs to roll to hide.
Oh! We'll get closer. Mysterious masked man! I'm here!
It's me.
With someone else! Who else do you think it is?
Finally.
I'm sorry it took a long time.
Usually prompt. We gotta get going if we're gonna get clear the tracks. We have a schedule.
This one was tricky, but I'll get him. Okay, I'm gonna go get him and clear the tracks. Maybe you could help me.
He's tall, he a little guy.
Maybe you could support
So he
an
just
arm.
knows he's not as good as a regular person? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I see how you are. Sizist.
Okay.
There you go. Now you've made Mark.
No.
Good
Yeah,
job.
you better watch out or he's going to climb up there and knock you right in the shoulder.
The clown so tall. Okay,
There's plenty of stools for him to get on.
I thought we cleaned
I'll go
those
get
up.
him.
Yeah, bring him over.
Okay. I'm gonna go, I guess, lift them.
Do it.
Gently.
I'm using my powerlifting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you will.
And I'm using my legs to lock
by
behind.
forward.
So he's really just lifting Watson, and I'm kind of just wobbling on the top.
Yes. Yep. So you
both people, the definitely singular person in a trench coat.
The definitely not two detectives in a trench coat. I have a feeling detectives are going to be using this ploy for hundreds of years
So
to
you
come.
notice
Only the fuzziest.
as Mr. Hyde turns away, the hooded figure kind of gestures, and there's something a little familiar about him. You're not sure what it is, but I don't know. Maybe he's from your hometown. But he gestures, and out of the open train car comes another body. But this guy's walking. 8+ feet tall, kind of very clumsy. Very clumsy. But he manages to get out of the train car and kind of lumbers after Hyde. You turn around, carrying 2 people in a trench coat that are definitely one person in a trench coat, and facing a person.
Be cool, man. You could have helped me earlier, I guess.
Give.
I'll carry! Leave me alone! I'm gonna walk over, I guess.
Right.
Just ignore giant men.
It follows.
The caber toss at the Freak Olympics this year was way off the hook.
Where do you want it?
In the train.
Okay. No, I'm gonna climb up into the train.
But not without your arms, you're not. Unless you're gonna roll something and just like squat jump up there.
Nope, thrown.
Yeah. You guys have been thrown into a train car.
Okay, we will.
In the train car.
When they're turned around, we will
There's another one.
come unglued from one another. As much as I hate it. Well, this one looks like it's not dead, though.
I don't think the other one was dead either.
We
The
did an
hooded
autopsy on it. It was
figure
definitely
is
dead.
counting out for you.
That one was
Oh, the
big.
big one that just right.
Good size on that one.
I know.
We were getting the bottom of the barrel.
I want at least 1.5.
And a half.
This
All right, fair enough.
I'm going to climb on the back of the train, or the outside of the train. I don't want to get inside of it. Just hang on to it.
Just hang on the train? Okay.
Yep. I'm assuming it's going to leave the station momentarily.
He's beginning his musical number. Since he's off on a scene by himself now, with the lights just shining down a little bit. Oh, to
I'm gonna
be
keep
man
stalling.
who brings people
I thought it
back
was
to
more.
life.
No, this was the agreed on amount except 1.5. This is a good one though. We'll be back in another 8 days. If you have any more, pay well for them.
Okay, like, is
How
it
much well?
Just me. Did you read the book, by the way? Really good reading.
1
Do
and
it
8.
One time.
1 and 8?
1 and 8. If you bring me another one this size, I'll pay you 2.
Doesn't this just seem like the little assistant
Okay,
and the monster
okay.
kind of got together and went
How-
into business for themselves?
What if you came earlier? I could get another one real soon.
How early?
Tomorrow? I'll find one now.
We can't come back tomorrow. We've got the whole route. If you dump them all in one place, then people get suspicious.
Oh, that makes sense. What about not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow?
8 days.
What about the day
This
after
many.
the day after tomorrow?
This many days.
I'm not an idiot. I know what 8 is.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Good.
I know that voice.
Well, if everything's settled then, I guess I can be on my way.
Excellent. He turns and climbs in the open train car.
I'll start.
Doors start to
Walking
close in the
away.
open train car. All right. Train starts moving. Everybody's in/on the train except you.
Which route are we on?
Which route are you on?
Which train route are we on?
This one goes straight out of town, goes straight north.
Straight north to what, Scotland? I mean, what do we...
Actually, yeah.
All right. So worst case scenario, we end up in Scotland. It's obviously not
That is a
expressed.
worst case scenario.
I think there's a couple worse I can think of.
So that's a
right.
I'm going to jump on the back.
But if we're going straight north,
Roll me a thing.
we'll be making a stop worth 3,000 before we get out of the country.
Yes.
There will almost certainly be a stop.
With climbing, beat it by 3.
Good. So which, are you trying to get on that car, or are you just snagging the last one?
Last one.
Last one? Okay. It's a fairly short train, that's 6 cars. So, you're
What-
back there, but
what
not
number are they
back
on?
there. 2. So there's the engine, the coal car, and then them.
Okay.
We'll start making our way towards the back, I think, at that point, too. Or
You're
at least
inside?
I'm aware of what I'm inside,
Yeah.
but I'm allowed to move, yes?
Well, they think you're dead.
That's fine. How many people are in there with me?
Well, it depends on how you define people, but there are
How many creatures other than myself and my compatriot John Watson are there?
3.
3 other creatures.
There's the little guy and 2 big guys.
2 big guys.
2 big guys. That's what he was trying to tell you.
As I made my way around to cut them off, which train car am I on? Because I was going to cut them
You
off
stayed
in
on
case
the
they
outside.
ran. Yeah, in case they ran away.
When you went, I interpreted as you went around to the other side and were looking at them through the juncture between
Okay.
the first and the second cars.
So the
you're
same
on
car.
The same
Okay.
car, just
That makes things a little easier.
okay. You're
Not
welcome.
going to have to move from train car to crane car.
Yay.
Which is good because your physical skills are
Not so good.
exciting.
Not so good.
Okay,
I think they're great.
so you still trying to
There was a doctor
distance
in the wall.
yourself?
Well, if we're in, is it a boxcar?
Yeah. Yeah.
With
so
just 3 people in it. All
in
right,
this one, yeah.
good deal. I guess not then. I'll do nothing
Okay.
until
start.
further notice.
Okay.
I want to get to their boxcar.
I am being chill.
No, I
Want to
know.
get more coffee?
So you're having a little bit of a problem with the situation because of the smell. There's
Okay.
a smell problem.
I don't have that problem?
Well, you don't have PTSD from being
Yeah,
around lots of
yeah.
murdered people.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
So
kind of
you-
war were you in?
The big one.
A land war in Afghanistan.
Then they never would have found the bodies. I don't have to lay with them.
So there's a very strong smell of blood and bodily fluids. No decomposition, which is, helpful.
Better.
Yeah.
Better. So I am not able to act on my next action then, because
That's
I
true.
am just paralyzed on this end.
That's true. All right, what were you doing?
I was climbing over the train cars to get to their their car.
Okay, it's a moving train, so roll me a thing.
I'm gonna keep going with climbing. 'cause
Sounds
that
good.
makes sense to me.
Climbing, acrobatics, I'm sure there are other things I can think of. So-
Climbing.
Climbing.
Beat it by 1.
Excellent. It's narrow, but you're successful. Mr. Hyde is very physically competent.
Short.
What are you doing?
Hanging on for dear life.
Okay, sounds good. The train leaves town. It doesn't go very far. Right outside of town, it does slow to a stop. So you're outside of London. And at that point, the big guys start crossing the train car towards you. Little guy's still chilling.
I assume I'm still froze up at this point.
I'm pretty sure I said until further notice.
That's true. But a Promethean is approaching you now.
I can't see that. My eyes are closed. I'm playing dead.
You can hear him though. He's a big dude in a big boxcar. You can hear him.
Okay.
And he's getting closer.
I'm still doing nothing.
Okay. Grabs the trench coat.
Still nothing.
If I can, I would like to pull the pistol.
Alright, you got it. Good deal. So the other Promethean opens the door, the boxcar. This guy starts dragging you guys towards the door. As he's dragging, the other one jumps out, walks away from the car. You guys who are on the outside can see he goes to the next car, opens the door on that one.
So
Drag.
one of them just left.
One of them just left.
All right.
So you got the one big guy and the
And
one
he's
little guy.
and he's opened the door to the
door's open.
boxcar. Great little drop toe hold. He's going out of the car too.
Roll me a thing.
Oh no. No.
Oh, no.
Just to know.
Only missed it by 1, but missed it.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Okay. But, unfortunately, that means it doesn't notice you.
Yeah, I wasn't attempting stealth.
So roll initiatives.
Also these,
Yes.
but pluses instead of minuses.
Yes.
Suddenly 6.
Dropping my stuff on the floor. That's okay. Okay, what you got?
11.
Okay. 6, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
7.
Nice.
9.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Also got 7 and... Wow. Everything goes last. Okay. So. You have the first action. What do you do?
He had 7, I had 6.
Oh, no. You're right.
Yeah.
He had 11.
You. What do you do?
I'm going to make my way up to the engineer's car.
Okay. How are you doing that?
Quickly.
Are you jumping from one to another? Are you getting down?
No, the train has stopped moving,
Yes,
he
it is.
said. So yeah,
Just
I'm as quickly as I can up to the engineer's car.
fabulous. Roll me something to make the jump.
Okay.
It's either that or climb down.
I did not realize I was that high in the air.
These are much taller trains than you're used to.
I see that.
Very high trains.
It's a little Swiss train.
You must be
Double-decker
this
London
tall
train.
to ride this train.
If I interpreted that wrong, then you were lower, then yeah, just let go.
Well, I thought that I couldn't necessarily climb up the train because I'm not very physically adept,
enough.
so I was hanging on for
Yeah.
dear life just above the wheels.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That's about as high as I can get on a train car.
Yeah, no,
Well,
that's my thing.
Shrimpy, roll to jump down the slope.
No, you're right. That was misinterpretation on my part. Absolutely right. So you run up to the engineer's car. What do you do?
Hopefully there's an engineer there.
There is an engineer there. It is not a self-piloting train.
I would like to use either my
Robo
etiquette or
train.
my social sciences. I'm going to convince this gentleman to immediately contact Scotland Yard. There are murderers on board his train.
Okay. Do it.
Go get help. Dead on for either of them.
Okay. Let's get my other die. Because I dropped it on the ground.
Wait, where'd Sharon go? Where'd Sharon?
Gone.
It's rough.
Gone forever.
Sharon's back.
Okay, dead on for either of them. Okay, so he's not sold on calling Scotland Yard, but he will, he'll leave. He'll leave the situation.
Close enough, I suppose.
Get
help!
Yes, I'll do half of that.
What was once a fairly cushy gig has suddenly gone sideways.
And so I've
Right.
gotten rid of basic human decency for the day.
Welcome to 19th century capitalism. All right, you've gotten rid of the conductor, but you don't have reinforcements coming.
Close enough.
Okay. Ed.
I want to jump down on one of them and punch him.
Okay. Okay.
I just want a Donkey Kong slam as they come down
Yes.
on the one that is closest to them.
So there's the one that is still in the car with them,
Okay.
and there's the one who is out of the car and has moved one car down.
Out of the car.
All right.
Then I'm just going to running jump.
Do it. Roll me a thing.
Okay. Rolling a thing. Dead on for unarmed.
Yikes.
Well,
Thanks, yo.
it was great if it would have landed,
Oh.
but it didn't.
Well.
Like right next to him, like Looney Tunes style.
Fun.
Next time, I'm getting you.
You want to do anything else on your turn?
No, I guess I'm good.
Okay, cool. John, you have a gun. You have a
Yes,
Promethean right in front of you.
and I'm shooting at that one, just for something novel and different.
Shoot at that one.
Dead on.
Excellent.
Corpse
So,
has a gun and shoots at you.
No!
very surprising when everything you got going is only running at 60%. All right, you hit him. Guns do 8 damage. Excellent. Sherlock, you have bided your time. You
I
have
have.
selected your moment.
I have. my bosom companion is bravely fighting down the monster.
What you done?
Well, I mean, that little guy's not doing anything, right?
No, he's very surprised right now.
Okay, I bravely grab John's cane. And then, using my master of single stick fighting, I throw the cane at him. At the little fellow, and I'm attempting to hit him with the top of the cane right between his eyes.
Alright. Roll me something.
I'm going to roll just a regular fighting roll, because I think that sounds like fun. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no!
My cane! I need that!
You don't have it though!
Because I think it's cool. High or low?
High.
High.
Because I'm rolling high.
Okay.
And it's bad.
9 or above and you get it.
Okay. No.
Oh!
And the best roll I will ever get.
Yeah.
And you wasted it on
And
me.
I wasted it. More the fool I. Alright. Prometheans go. You're still in front of the one.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't like you because you made a loud noise. I'm sorry.
I should have warned you, they don't like loud noises.
I don't like loud noises. That doesn't make me kill people for it.
Makes me kill people for it.
So
Touche.
both hands up and just tries to slam down on you.
You know, when I started this, I was never trying to animate dead bodies. I was trying
But
to
it
save
does-
men in the trenches who were dying.
Like a super
Like you.
garbage job.
Even though we haven't invented trench warfare yet.
Because it miscalculated how far down you are because you're still laying down, so it just whiffs on you completely. One next to you, however, has identified a target and is also not great. What's your dodge?
Dodge is 2.
Yeah.
That's better than all of ours.
Well, hide's the closest thing you have to a superhero right now.
It's true.
All right.
Just a little crazy. Just a little.
Also misses. So, little guy goes, and by goes I mean tries to scurry out of the train car. So, anybody who's in the doorway, which would be both of you, can attempt to stop him if you like.
Yes.
Yes.
Roll me something, either like an unarmed attack, or if you got something better, go for it.
Stop him with a gun. Just no.
Stopped now, aren't you?
I got a gun. You don't.
Military
Yay!
sciences. He got it.
I made it dead on. I don't, if he's
As did I.
if he's got a super dodge bonus, we're not going to be in great shape.
He doesn't have any dodge bonus.
Ah, then I got him!
You got him! You both got him. It was a team effort.
For a
bosom
companions.
For a total of 14 damage. Ba-boom!
Indeed. So you got him. You actually knock him over, and he face plants completely. Okay, but he is going to lose his next action. Victor.
Well, there's no engineer.
Correct. You scared him off.
Remember when you tried to get him to do a
Intimidating
good
face.
normal guy thing, and he was like, fuck you, I quit the job, I'm not a train conductor anymore.
What? And be connected to this nonsense? No!
You
Now
mean
we're-
the,
what's
the
up?
train tracks?
No.
The
To-
railway?
To the Murder Express.
Or
What are you doing?
Look, it's a coal-driven train, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to grab the shovel and then join these ones.
Perfect.
Good man.
Super good. All right. So
Ed.
you will be able to act in combat next round. Ed,
I know that they're poorly stitched together.
they are.
I want to rip a dude's arm off
Okay.
and hit him with it.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I considered giving you ability that hit a dude with another dude.
That's
That
what
seems
I'm
like
trying
that's
to
a
do.
legit ability in our game.
I'm gonna rip that arm off.
Okay.
I actually have a story about that. I'll tell you sometime.
Hit an MFer with another MFer.
So unarmed,
Mm-hmm.
I assume, beat it by 4.
Okay.
That
You ripped a
just
dude's
knocked
arm
Crash
off.
Jackson.
Unarmed
silly.
is a rather good name for that.
Yes.
You ripped a dude's arm off.
He's been
Can I hit him with
disarmed.
that
You
arm?
can hit him with it at -2.
Done.
2 actions in a round.
Done. I just want to smash his face in with his own arm.
Cool. His poor face.
Beat it by 3. I remember you, and you put up a fight. Not this time.
I'm so happy. All right, John.
I'm
He's
going
freshly
to...
killed and not preserved, right?
Shouldn't be.
I am going to try to scurry away to put a little distance between myself and the monstrosity currently in front of me.
Okay.
But more specifically, I'm going to take a shot at him and then do so.
Okay.
Bang, bang!
So are you still on the ground?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
The back slither.
Just missed.
Shame.
Shame.
But you managed to make distance. So that's nice.
Yeah.
No longer in arm's reach, Sherlock.
Who's in arm's reach?
The little guy. Because you just knocked him down.
Yeah, he's on the ground.
Yeah. You also are within arm's reach of the Promethean.
Yeah, I'm scared to death of the Promethean now.
That's fair.
But I did read Miss Shelley's book. And so, with a little bit of my turpentine that I use for gathering fingerprints and such,
Okay.
I will pour it on the cloak of little man
Okay.
and light a match.
Cool.
Fun with science.
Yeah. I don't know what you would do for that, but roll me a thing.
Fail. Since I had nothing to roll on, it is a fail.
You successfully pour the turpentine, but it does blow out. The match does blow out
Of course it does.
before you can drop it. So you're
Okay,
unable
catch you
to light
3
it.
minutes on the next turn.
All right, Prometheans go. Closest one attacks Sherlock because it is close enough to do so, but it is also... These guys roll terribly.
Compared to us, they're doing great.
Yeah, no. But the second one does land a hit on you
With his working arm.
with his one working arm, with which he can only deal half damage. Because why the heck not? So you take 4. Little guy stands up. That's his turn. Victor?
I'm gonna hit him in the knee with the shovel.
Yay!
Hold still, man. However, before doing so,
Okay.
I am going to appeal to his shared humanity. In
Oh,
fact,
good.
The fact that he doesn't have any.
All right.
Stop running. There is no sense in fleeing this. You must pay account for what you have done. This does not have to end in more murder and death.
And then you hit him with a shovel.
But it can.
And then I'm going to hit him with the shovel.
Murder optional.
In the knee, specifically because I do not wish to kill him.
Okay.
And because I appeal to his humanity, I will succeed.
Yay!
Otherwise, there wasn't a stone's throw chance. Of getting him. Like, seriously. It's bad.
All right.
That's a really lovely mechanic.
So he stood up and you knocked him back down.
Yes. And hopefully prevented him from being able to run at all.
You did get a good look at him. And you do recognize him.
I thought so. I
The assistant,
recognized that
right?
voice.
It's the assistant,
It's
isn't
the
it?
assistant.
It's the
It's the
assistant.
assistant. Yep. Okay. Edward? You still holding the arm? Or do you want to go for a matched pair?
I have blind fury, and so whenever I'm hurt, I must make a soul roll to prevent myself from attacking the nearest person.
Wait, what?
I'm real angry.
But you took 4. Okay.
Yeah, whenever I'm damaged, I have to get angry and hit whatever's next to me, which happens to be a Promethean.
I mean, that's lucky.
This time.
Yeah, this time.
Well, as long as it didn't, like, cripple you with a low soul score, you'd be fine, right?
Fun fact.
Fun fact, you have to roll a critical success in order to get it. Giving you an... okay.
Or insulted, just so we're aware, by the way.
There's some
Injured or insulted.
I'm only insulted as a game designer.
Now there's something in the language there about not attacking your best friend if they happen to be close to you, right?
No.
Never, John.
Okay,
Never
okay,
you.
Okay.
Just this other guy. Beat it 5-5.
Excellent. Substantial.
I'm just gonna keep beating this thing to death.
You're doing a great job.
I'm already ahead of the game. I just ended now.
Wow.
Dude, I can't even light a match, so...
You lit it, it blew out. You're not in control of the wind.
I'm surrounded on 3 sides by train cars. I'm absolutely fucking in control of the wind.
John, it's your turn.
You don't need to be Sherlock Holmes to know that.
Not that much. I will take another shot at the one in the cart with us.
Good deal.
Beat it by 1.
Man, Nice. Excellent. Anybody remember who's next? Because I have it on the other page. Sherlock?
I'm gonna try and light a goddamn match. Nope.
Oh my god!
I don't know what. There's no skill, so I don't know what it is.
There's not, but you didn't automatically fail, so you succeed.
Oh, good. Yeah, normally for tasks that are below whatever your skill level would be in that thing, you don't roll.
Okay.
And I guess that's an attack of some kind?
Well, I don't know.
Is he moving?
Nope.
Does gravity work?
Yeah.
He's on fire.
He's on fire.
Oh dear.
He's on fire.
That's unfortunate.
No, his cloak's on fire. He can take it off.
What? You can't.
He's got such
turn.
dexterity. Just.
Kid's extrapolated a lot.
At least if he runs off into the dark, we'll be able to find him.
Yeah. Shoot.
Well, now, he is a doctor.
But the Promethean who was in the boxcar with you guys.
He's in blind. He's a character in Blind Fury with a 2 souls. You don't, like, honestly, this fight's over. We have to lock him in here and leave without him.
That was a marvelous suggestion.
No, really, I'm fine, guys. Let me out.
No, really, we have to lock you in here.
Jekyll can attempt to reassert himself once there's no more physical danger present. I just didn't tell him that because I didn't want him to use it as a superpower.
I didn't know until just now. You found out with me. It was a learning experience for us all.
The Promethean in the boxcar sees the fire, jumps out and tries to run away. Is anybody within arm's reach would like to stop him? Nope, sounds good.
I'm not here to fight monsters. I'm here to solve a murder. Murder solved. Little guy did it.
To be fair, he didn't do the murder.
Oh.
No, you did the murder.
I did murder.
Yeah,
The other one swings at you.
but he paid for the murders, making him equally at fault.
Yes, he is more at fault.
No.
Beats by 1, but it doesn't
Equally.
beat your dodge, so that's it. Little guy takes off his cloak. Okay? that's
He
that's
took,
it.
he took it off. Ha ha! Now I've got a burning cloak in my hand.
And then he forgot that he was standing in a pool of turpentine, and so he has other problems right now.
Aside from a non-functioning knee.
Yeah, he's got lots of problems. He's having a really bad day. Victor?
Enough! Stand down, man. There's no need for this bloodshed to continue. Stop.
Plus, we've seen your face, so I mean, even
I
if
know
run,
who you are. This is over.
If we can't find a 5-foot-tall hunchback in the middle of London, what can we do?
He's not a hunchback.
This need not end in
You
death.
guys decided he was a hunchback.
We can make him a hunchback. I know how
Igor
to
is
do it.
commonly
No, no, no,
portrayed as a
no, no,
hunchback. I'm just going off the most common trope, which doesn't come from Mary Shelley's book.
It doesn't. He's not in the book.
Surrender before this
He's
violent
upset about
person
that.
kills you.
I'm on my way.
Okay. Are you doing anything else?
I'm
Or yelling?
gonna beat this dude.
Okay.
Like until he stops moving.
He's almost.
Until he stops moving, I'm going to beat him.
He is profusely leaking fluids.
Is
Not
he
blood,
still moving?
but other fluids.
Is he still moving?
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat
I
this
also
dude.
really don't want to hit you with the shovel again. I really don't. Please don't.
I beat it by 6.
All right. So you hit him hard enough that it like something inside, and then he collapses.
It was his life sack.
Life sack
He
is
burst
all
his
over
life
me.
sack.
Oh, right in the life sack.
So we're put together by
Ah, my life sack!
surgeon. None of these guys were really watertight
Which
to
I believe
begin
is
with.
pretty much what
Yeah.
it translates to, right?
Yeah.
It's mine.
All right. We're going to leave initiative at this point. You have a very angry small person who's standing in a pool of fire and upset about that.
But not as angry as that person is just about everything.
Roll me on Jekyll's soul.
Oh, I was just gonna keep punching it for a while.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Occupy yourself, good sir.
Smashing the face on him.
Okay, cool. I'm going to.
I'm just gonna ease us off of the train.
There's like maniacal cackling happening like, on the way.
Shutting the door of the car.
Why, Igor? Why?
I want to try and help smother the fire on him because we're trying to take him.
You would come back. Why? Because you wouldn't use anything for its actual function. You have a great source of income in front of you. This is incredible science, and you forgot it. And then you wrote me out of the book.
I went through digging through graveyards for you. I stitched for hours for you. All those fiddly little tiny veins. You didn't do that. You were in classes. I did that for you. And I didn't get any credit. And then you squandered it. You begged.
It's supposed to save lives, not take lives.
You could save even more lives by using this. These people were already dead.
What are you using it for?
Money.
Ah, nice one.
Well, there goes the old altruism argument.
It's not my altruism. I'm just the middleman. Making this work could have been done much sooner, much faster, and with a lot less life lost if you had just been so...
So what's the practical application of this particular technology?
Not sure.
No, I don't imagine you are, considering this was your entire plan.
It's not my plan.
Oh, someone else's...
Somebody pays me for this.
The professor.
Who found you?
Don't know. Never met him in person. He always uses messengers, different person every time.
So he found you
But he
in a
pays
gutter
well.
by letter.
Sought me out
By letter.
after the book came out. Because I wrote the publisher and I told them that it was lies in that book, that I was there and I saw it.
When you don't need lightning.
And you don't need lightning.
That's the biggest disappointment for me.
I know, I really did like the
I just think it was very poetic. There's a certain drama to it. To wait for a big storm, you know. Have a house without a roof on it. Who does that? No one.
No one does that.
You could have just asked for money.
Oh, you went off
But he could-
to your family.
But
and
instead,
your
he murdered
rich,
like
cushy life
20 people.
for money.
Right, but like you don't look incredibly well off. Even a paid killer does better than you are doing financially right now.
Well,
With the amount of people that
I don't
they've
have the
killed.
ability to spend because I'm always here with the train.
So you've got just loads of money
Where do you
lying
take
around.
the bodies?
Yeah, I haven't cashed the checks yet.
Where do you take the bodies?
Well, I haven't gotten one to function for more than a day or two.
Where are you doing it? Where is your lab? Little man, talk.
The second car.
You're using the train itself.
Rather inspired, actually.
Oh, that means he's paying off some railway officials.
So,
Some.
all of them.
Some. With money that you are making doing this very experiment.
Contacted by letter, paid by banknotes, contacted after you wrote the publisher.
Honestly, the business plan alone is driving me mad. Well, I think we've all proven something here today. I'm not crazy. You're all crazy. Hide! It's dead!
So you can have your goody two shoes. You know what? You're right. I probably have enough money. I don't have to do this. I don't have to respond to messengers. I can just move somewhere
You are
else.
literally going to jail today.
That's not going to solve the problem.
But you won't be
The
doing anything
notes
more.
exist. You just
So?
buy somebody else. Somebody else's life, somebody else's
But
time.
the idea is stupid.
But they'll have to start over from the beginning.
Right, and you've pretty much murdered every big bastard in town. So it's going to be a
Ooh,
while
yeah.
before we grow some more.
Put that out there.
Or just do it somewhere else.
That's
no
fine
one has
with me.
big dudes.
It's not happening here. It stays out of London.
How do you propose stopping that?
Someone's behind it.
Just somebody thinks this experiment is a good idea other than you two imbeciles.
I'm willing to retire.
No,
but I
well,
want a
not
new
you,
publication
Doctor.
of that book with my name in it. Maybe a play.
Question.
Settle for a play.
Hear me out here. Hear me out here.
You should be working for Edison.
So
He's as crazy as you are.
there are only two people who know how to do this? Yes? Two?
Apparently not.
And John has only fired 3 shots from his revolver.
Okay, so but there's two and maybe one more?
There are notes out there. There'll be whoever is paying him has access to the research.
Do the notes look, what's the word, sound?
The person has access to the research. They will just complete everything that he has done.
I'm going to say this. I think that the only reason that they got any of this to work, and only poorly in this particular situation is that it was your old assistant who was going by memory as well as your notes.
I'm
Somebody
not
without
sure that's
significant-
a chance that we should be taking.
Look, if someone else does it, and they follow the note and say, "Oh, I'm going to make me a bloke," out of 8 other blokes because I think that's a good idea, which they won't, by the way, because it's a fucking terrible idea.
It's a bad idea.
I'm saying they're going to have
If you want a
enough
servant that
scientific
doesn't feel pain
background
and
to know it's a bad idea
Can't
or
be
be as
stopped.
dumb as your assistant.
doesn't need to eat.
You need hands to do this, yeah?
Do these notes that you are receiving, these requests, tell you what they wanted these projects for, people?
They wanted them to be able to take direction, function even if injured or dismembered.
Super soldiers, super soldiers. Just saying it. Try Germany first. No reason, I just have a feeling.
And who would want to make soldiers?
Countries, armies.
People.
Who would be willing to do this that would want to make soldiers?
Oh, Germany for sure.
Sticking with my gut on this.
I can just retire.
No,
You just-
you're literally going to jail today. Your legs are too short to run from any of us. Don't go anywhere.
I really don't want to have to hit you with this again.
Yeah, not running
So-
after that.
Revolver.
So, if he doesn't have hands, follow me here. So if he doesn't have hands, he can't do surgery, right?
I've seen his stitch work. He can't do surgery.
Do you have any of the banknotes, Eagle?
Yeah, I've got checks I had cash.
Show one to the detective, please.
That one, that's me.
He's the one.
I'm the detective.
Can I
Everyone
see your
else,
hands?
doctors. Can you imagine? All day with doctors.
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor.
Wait!
Mister.
Mister. Shut up.
Is your disassociated identity talking to the other one? Right now?
Is it?
Fascinating.
I will not go back in! Not yet!
You know,
Okay.
I feel like you will.
Can I see your hand?
No
No.
need for hands.
You know?
Igor, was it? Don't give him your hand. You'll lose a hand.
I could take it.
Check made out to Fritz Igor Keeley. There is an address on it as well. No name, but a physical address.
Wait, your name is Fritz and you still go by Igor.
I don't go by Igor. He calls me Igor.
Why did you call me Igor?
Isn't it Igor?
Because everybody's an asshole when they're 20.
That is 100% true.
Can't fault that. That's just logic.
Jets.
This is true.
I was a know-it-all when I was 20.
Was.
Yes, it was a long time ago.
Yes, I'm sure it was insufferable.
Is that address familiar to you, Mr. Holmes?
I know it.
It's a really nice area of London.
Posh. Very posh. Shall we get your cab? Do you mind
Bodies.
terribly turning yourself in?
No, I can do that.
I'm just messing with you. I'm going to tie you up and have Lestrade come pick you up.
What are you waiting on? You look like you want something.
Brilliant.
Hands.
We're not cutting off anyone's hands.
What if they're crushed?
Why don't you just take the Promethean's hands since they're already from someone else?
They're not doing surgery.
He's not doing surgery. He
Okay.
was stitching bodies back together haphazard. With a bad eye and a worse hand. It's messy work.
They saved your hands.
We're going to tie you up and have Lestrade pick you up. If you decide to run, we're going to let him find you, and I'll let
You
use
will
your
not have
imagination then.
hands.
Do you understand?
So he sits down. Just.
Excellent. I believe we should visit this address and perhaps inform Lestrade upon the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna tie him to a rail post.
Okay.
So,
Really well, using the knots that I learned how to tie in Japan. When learning the ways of love.
So,
Which I don't do very well. So instead I'll use sailor's knots.
so this should go without saying, but I believe Igor killed those people.
I see where you're going with this. And I love it. I love it so very much.
I promise I won't do it for him again.
Would you mind amending that just a bit?
Them. My apologies.
Oh yeah, we'll let you off the hook this time, mate. Don't worry about it.
Righto.
All right. So we'll
Thanks,
stop.
bestie.
We'll stop
Yes,
stop by Scotland Yard on the way. Have the cab drop us off there real quick. Can they wait?
Yeah?
Great. We run in. Lestrade! We found the murderer.
He's delighted.
Good. The man buying the bodies is down by the rail yard, tied up to this particular post. You can't miss him. He's wearing a half-burnt cloak. The murderer himself is, get this, him.
No.
Did all the killing himself. Mad as a hatter, though. Disassociated identity. Jekyll had nothing to do with the crimes.
What am I supposed to do with that?
Whatever you want. This man, Hyde, killed all those people, like 20 of them, right? 20? 16. 16 of them.
Let me go check. Walk out the building.
And you just let him walk out the building. Brought
Check
him
how?
right into Scotland Yard. You let him walk right out. Top-notch police work, Lestrade. See you later.
Yes.
Turn around and leave.
You say he's Jekyll, but he's not. He's a disassociative personality, and Lestrade's like, I have an 8th grade education.
That doesn't hold up in court, Lestrade. Not even today.
Catch up to him later.
Don't worry, I'll track him down for you. Normal fee.
Now then.
As I see Hyde running off into the shadows. Bye, Egg.
Come out.
Doctor?
Doctor.
Doctor.
Doctors. I
Completely different person. Foolproof alibi.
I mean,
warn you.
you warned who about what?
The three of you about him.
Oh yeah, he's awful and yet kind of the best.
Rather fascinating.
I wouldn't say the best, but that's... You don't live with him.
So you can just like kill 16 people and then just not have it on your conscience at all because it's a separate conscience.
Those people died in accidents. Not in my hand.
You didn't suffocate one of them with a belt?
No, I did not.
I believe it was several with bells.
And again, I did not.
Right, but I mean, if we had a way to tell that someone's tissue was the same, which we don't, thankfully,
we don't,
because
thankfully.
science doesn't work that way yet.
No, I don't.
You know,
You're crazy talking.
I'm sorry, to speak in purely scientific terms, you've got ghosts in your blood, and I think you should do some cocaine about it.
I believe we could have that happen.
All right.
The ghosts will stay, but the cocaine.
Shall we pay a visit to this address?
Yes.
Yes, let's.
Quite,
I'm
indubitably.
assuming this is a cab conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes.
All right.
Cabby, you'll keep your mouth shut, or I'll shut it for you.
He's on the outside.
That's
It's
right.
DNA. You got ghosts in your
He's-
blood. Do some cocaine about it.
Done and done. We're good for now.
And
everyone.
it's officially ZOE game night.
That's-
Just some cocaine.
Oh, cocaine.
Took us a couple hours, but we got there. All right. You reach nice neighborhood. Big houses, tall fences, very quiet, very pleasant. No homeless people. No poop in the streets. It's a nice place.
This is quite lovely.
I know, I used to live here.
Oh,
I wish I had changed my boots.
oh no. There's no poop in the streets.
I don't trust it.
All right.
This house has one light on in an upstairs window. Everything else is dark. What do you do?
Knock on the door. Wait, we're trying to be stealthy. Ring the doorbell.
The stealthy option.
No. Are we just going to announce ourselves?
Why would we not? It's terribly late. I wouldn't want to be rude.
It's true.
We may be a lot of things, Doctor, but we are first and foremost English.
Yes, quite.
It takes a couple minutes, but somebody does answer the knock and the ring. Or the ring, depending on the case.
Yes, forgive us, Frankenstein.
So somebody answers the door?
Yes.
Hello, Sherlock Holmes and Doctors Watson, Jekyll and Frankenstein.
Good day.
They don't have watches. it's
Do you know what bell it is?
They were at least invented
use
by then.
mine.
You're good to go.
Okay, yes. Good.
You can use mine.
Thank you. Very late.
I am aware that it is very late. But we thought that this was urgent?
Quite.
Oh, I can wake up the master of the house if it's urgent. But...
Well, there are 3 doctors and a detective at your door.
Doctors.
We'll add 2 inspectors to that only 20 minutes, you know?
Well, come in.
Thank you so much. We would love tea, thank you.
This house is the richest house any of you have ever been in. The rugs are Persian, the furniture is French, the art is American. Don't pay that any mind. Someone has recently
It's the same
brewed-
way at Buckingham.
Someone has recently brewed actual coffee. Someone is smoking a pipe.
Ooh.
Hello.
Man of someone of class.
Is anybody doing any cocaine about their ghosts in their blood? 'Cause
Not presently, but there's lots of rooms in this house. So
Daddy wouldn't mind a little 7% solution right about now.
There's still room for blood cocaine ghosts at a later time. After leaving you in the foyer for a second, for a second.
We're English,
Right.
we can call it a foyer.
That's true.
Put a foyer.
Screw the French. The servant returns
occasion.
and leads you upstairs to an office where a very old man sits behind a mahogany desk. Anybody who wants to can roll a thing to see if they know who he is.
I would like to roll a thing.
You can roll
Does
a
anybody
thing.
know what thing I might be wanting to roll?
Area knowledge would do it.
Ah.
Simple minds would do it.
I
as
got
well.
that. Beat it by 4.
Cultural
Nice.
arts.
Yeah, I'm gonna go cultural arts
Do
as
it.
well.
Cultural arts beat by 2.
Okay.
Did not do it.
Aw.
Beat etiquette by 3.
Ooh. This guy is Samuel Slater. Slater the Trader, who took English manufacturing process to America and then made bank. Absolutely disgustingly wealthy. He posed as a philanthropist for a while. He opened orphanages. And then the children work for him in the textile mills.
Oh, good times.
Very
Good
high
times.
injury rate there.
I like to be in America.
And now he's back. Didn't know he was back. Thought he was going to live in the United States forever, but here he is.
No.
Interesting.
An emergency? 3 doctors and a detective must be emergent.
Did you get the doctors' names? Doctors Jekyll, Watson, and Frankenstein.
Yes. The girl told me who you were.
Really? And you're still here. Amazing.
Typically in the business of
He's
paying
like
for murder.
90 years old. He ain't climbing out a window.
Yeah, moving real
So,
fast.
Dr. Frankenstein is the one that invented the research that is used as the basis for your undead worker project.
I know who he is. I wrote to him first.
Ah, yes. It's the one thing money can't buy.
Wait, what is that?
Continued life and, well, his position.
Oh no.
Much less interested in that. I've lived a good life.
Money.
I can die a good death.
Just money. It's just money.
It's always money.
No, but it's just money.
Yeah.
Money.
Literally just running up the count.
Don't look at me with that disgust. You like the textiles that the machining brings in. You like the life that you can lead based on the mass production that I make. You can look down on me if you want to, but you support my industry.
No, we expect.
And all I'm trying to do is make it cheaper for you.
Excuse me, I'm going to be sick.
Okay, take your time. We understand. You did this.
I'm going to the kitchen.
Okay. The servant that answered the door is in there. 17.
Excuse me.
Just waiting for permission to not be here anymore.
I believe they're ready for that upstairs.
So, tell us a little bit about why the hell you decided to go this route instead of, trying to improve upon the mass-producing process you have already somewhat perfected.
It's actually cheaper in the long term.
Have you considered something called an assembly line? I've been working on it for some time. I'll explain later. You'll have plenty of time. Well, not you. You've got a couple of days left at best.
No, I don't have much time, but if I can perfect this process, then it will make everything cheaper for everybody. I don't have any heirs. Nobody's going to make money from me. But your quality of life will continue to go up. And you don't have to look at it. You can keep your morals. You don't have to see it. You don't care now. You don't care about the dismembered children. You don't care about the blood in your fabrics. You only care that they're cheap and they look nice.
As soon as the
Wait, you're dismembering children?
Not on purpose. Sometimes they are there when the machine starts. They don't listen.
They literally can, though. Like if you say, hey, stay away from the machine when you turn it on, or it'll maybe sever your arms and legs.
You'd think that, but apparently not. Whereas, workers that we can put back together, nobody gets hurt. We can use people who already died. The functionality of the Promethean once completed is not based on the body that it once was, which means that the elderly can be repurposed for the betterment of society. Right now, what good are they doing anybody?
We're talking about 2 of these that have worked past a few days, though.
Which is great progress.
Dozens of people have been murdered.
Why didn't you use already dead bodies from the start instead of paying someone to
kill
murder people?
Because we need them fresh. It has to be fresh, otherwise it doesn't work.
That makes your business model not sustainable. Why are all the crimes in the city based on just terrible business practices?
The terrible business practices, the real crime.
As soon as the servant is taking the tea upstairs, I begin setting fire to the house.
Like,
Mr.
if we were
Holmes'
using
idea was rather
already dead bodies,
inspired.
why not do this on a war front?
Well, that's originally where we got the idea.
And then you decided to take it to London?
Well, unfortunately, combat bodies tend to be less usable.
Overall, sure, but you're attaching parts willy-nilly on them. This idea is bad. It's bad.
You only think it's bad now because you're seeing it in the middle.
No, I
You
think
see it
it's...
at the end of the process.
I think it's bad because it's a terrible idea.
You already spoke about making use of the elderly. This is going to encourage families to start selling off their no longer useful relatives for coin.
Well, if they can't afford it, then that makes good sense.
No!
The moral depravity of this knows no bounds.
You are literally the worst person I have ever met.
And I've spent the last 5 years in Afghanistan.
I know a really bad person.
It's true. I know that one too.
And you're worse.
Did Moriarty put you up to this?
Who?
James Moriarty, professor of maths.
No,
You work for him. Don't
who that
pretend
is.
like you don't work for him. I'm
Don't
sorry.
know
We
who that
should
is.
be quiet. We should be quiet. We should be quiet. Heart attack! No, it's just because you're so bad. You're a bad person.
It's true.
Just for business. I'm sorry. I'm getting very worked up. Sorry.
Getting a little overheated as well.
No, it's good business. It just needs to be refined. That's all. It's a good plan.
It's a bad plan.
Did you ever
You start
consider...
to smell smoke. Not tobacco smoke, different smoke.
Who is burning down your house at this time of day?
You might be cooking.
No, someone is burning. Trust me, arsonist. I go searching out the
I know
smoke.
exactly what a house fire smells like, and this is it.
Who's trying to catch a house on fire?
Sir, do you still have the pages with research? Are they here upon the premises?
In my desk.
Oh, perfect.
Can't just
Is someone
hand
burning the
those out.
desk?
Somebody might get there first.
Someone's burning the desk.
Oh no.
It's not me. I didn't do it. I just got here and the desk was on fire.
All right, Miss, you have been wonderfully helpful. Thank you so much for the cuppa. Might I suggest you vacate the premises?
I found the cocaine.
Good, I think we've all got plenty of blood ghosts after this encounter.
So many blood ghosts. So, hello, Shadowcasters.
Hello, Shadowcasters!
I miss you already. And, well, I miss you already, Shadowcasters.
Well then, I believe there's only a few things we could do.
Well, the house is burning and we found the cocaine. The old guy's not going anywhere.
Do you have a will that you've left?
Oh, or a William.
What
I was
about a
using the
bill?
technical term.
Yes.
Not crazy, Watson. Not crazy at all.
No, I get that now.
No,
Let's
not
see.
this
But
time.
it's like 3 grams of these.
So, who will your businesses pass to upon your passing?
Not sure.
Unfortunate.
So,
I just need to get them functioning properly so that they can run on their own and they don't even need workers,
but you're like 95.
which is a really good run.
You're so old.
What I'm
Pattern
saying
has
is,
held thus far.
what I'm saying is, once you kick off, what is keeping? Who's doing the research?
Oh, it doesn't. It'll get done. It's good work. It'll get done.
Yeah. Let me familiarize you with the War of the Roses and explain to you exactly why that won't work. There's no one. Legacy, man. Legacy.
You know dementia when you see it.
Oh wait, so do I.
Right. Bosom companions.
Yes. Yes, well, you're right. The good work will carry on. So why don't you stay right here in your office,
I believe
and
we're done
we
here,
will
gentlemen.
leave you alone. Thank you for confirming the plans.
Smoke coming up the stairs.
Bye, mate.
Oh,
Oh look, I found some gin here too.
well then.
Go with cocaine.
Everything.
It's more of a red wine thing, but, you know, I'm
well.
not into the pairings.
We'll get Lestrade to pick up some red wine on the way.
I'll be off then. Have a good day, sir.
Perfect.
I hope to never run into you again.
Well, no, them. You. We're together.
No, really?
No, me and John. You.
Oh, you are gonna get so murdered by him.
Never, John. John never gets murdered.
You are shortening your lifespan every moment you are friends with Dr. Henry Jekyll.
Looks
I'll
like
tell you
I'm
right
sidekicking on the couch tonight.
And on that note, mystery solved, murderer acquired, and then released, perhaps to return another time. We will see.
What murderer?
What? Yeah, what murder?
now. He's not here.
No, this is you guys talking about
there's
some
no
guy.
killing nobody.
Don't even
There's
know
no
who it
murder.
is.
Absolutely. No, at the end of the day, it was just money.
Dun dun dun.
Neat. Well, thanks for
The
the
root
game.
of all evil.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting us pop in tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Nice place you got here.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I found it.
We know. We were here that day.
Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Mark, for running things for us.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Much
And
appreciated.
thank you, Leo, for going home.
Thank
And
you,
for
Leo.
care of
And
yourself.
setting up,
Good.
yeah.
That's what I said, basically.
Yeah, basically.
That's what I basically said.
Thank you very much, guys, for coming and watching with us. This is actually my first time with both of this system and with running a game as a show. So I understand that there were issues, and I appreciate your constructive feedback on the Discord, not here. This has.
I just want to say a special thanks to one of our mod, Paximo, who's inspiration behind all
Yeah,
of
that's
tonight's
her,
game.
this is her
You are
story.
so
Yeah.
good, Pax.
Yeah, this is
Holy
Pax's
smokes.
story. This is Pax's story, and I turned it into a game. And there were a lot of really good ideas that we actually had to chuck out in the writing of this episode. There was a lot of stuff that we wanted to do, but we couldn't do that without running it into, a 5-hour thing or a 2-show thing. But if you guys are interested in a 19th century authors and their famous fictional characters cinematic universe, maybe with some superpowers, then that is actually something that we have enough side material for.
That's literally like 2 seasons of Metaverse.
Yeah.
That's true.
That already exists?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right, well.
Scrap it.
Maybe,
We're done
yeah,
then.
maybe we won't then. Woo!
Never
Take
mind.
that off my plate.
Well, you could do the European part. The Western part's mostly been done.
Well,
nice.
we've already given the European part away.
Oh, that's true.
Excellent. Good. That
Or
can
at least
go
that,
off of
at
my
least
plate.
London.
London, sorry. London.
Okay. Fair enough.
Other than that, that is it for today. If you like what we do here, then do consider visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/zombieorpheus if you want to help us make more cool stuff. If you come back on Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific, there's more rehearsal for Big Stompy Robots.
So stompy.
What is happening on Saturday? What
We
are
are going to be
practicing?
practicing
we're gonna practice.
fighting transitions.
And we're gonna try and maybe run a promo for anybody who hasn't done one yet.
Oh, excellent.
Who's here?
You're actually going to see wrestling this particular
Yeah.
season.
We're gonna
It's happening.
We're gonna practice the hot seat switch.
Good deal.
That's a big part of what we're doing.
So Big Stompy Robots, 3 p.m. on Saturday. Masters of the Metaverse is on Monday at 6 p.m. It sounds like the Triassic train job has had some consequences, which
It
means
is. We're going to have a Jurassic jailbreak.
Jurassic Jailbreak.
Ooh.
Monday at 6 p.m. Come back for that. Thank you all for joining us today.
Yeah, and
Next-
thanks again for Shadowcasters for popping on there at the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah,
They're
thanks, Shadowcasters.
They're
Thank
the
you,
ones who are
Shadowcasters.
running Rural Punk by Cascade Designs.
Oh.
I've done one for the last few weeks that I didn't quite get to make to tonight because of traffic mostly. And yet here I am at my safe home studio, no problem, where I could make it to without any issues whatsoever. But yeah, they run a whole bunch of like Shadowrun Cyberpunk kind of cool stuff on that channel, so check it out if you ever get a chance.
Yeah, excellent. Next week on Game Night, we're going to be running something a little bit different. We're going to be doing a GM panel. So if you're interested in GMing or world building, I'm not sure what the topic's going to be yet, but that is what we're going to be running. So stay safe, have fun, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
What?